Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and this evening I'm glad to have Miguda, my brother, kwa studio. Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama kakangu, habari yako?
Mi niko salama. Labda wewe tuambie siku yako imekuwa aje na nini mzuri? Saa zingine uko na mazuri.
Siku hizi najua ukiambia mtu mzuri,
Eh,
akiwa mtu ati mazuri
eh.
anakujibu hakuna. Siku hizi watu wamebadilisha hiyo salamu,
Oh, siku hizi wanakuambia hakuna.
hakuna ati mazuri hakuna.
Ah,
Sasa sijui kwa nini siku hizi mazuri hakuna.
Kwa nini hivyo kubadilika hivyo na maneno?
Labda ni hali ya maisha. Unajua hasa ni vijana ndio wanazungumza hizo lugha za mtaa, mazuri
Eh,
hakuna. Juu watu
ah,
wametosha watu sana, yaani
okay.
maisha imekuwa ngumu. Jana nilipata vijana wengine hapo walikuwa wanasema ati mazuri
Eh.
hakuna na iko tu sawa tu.
Okay, asante sana. Pale kwa comment section naona Judith, asante sana kwa kujiunga na sisi, na pia naona pia ndugu yangu kama mtoto wangu bado anaitwa Kap. Yeah. Asante sana kwa kujiunga na sisi. Leo tutaanza wapi? Kuna hii vita ambayo inatokea iko kati ya Israel na Hezbollah. But nadhani pia kuna Wakenya ambao wako katika hizo nchi mbili. Sijui serikali wamepanga aje. Uko na any habari kuhusu? Hello?
Nakusikia.
Eh,
Ulikuwa
na
unasema ati kuna hiyo vita kati ya
Israel na
Wanaisraeli
mhm.
Hezbollah,
Mm.
na kuna hao watu wetu wanaofanya kazi huko.
Yeah.
So nafikiria kwamba wameathiriwa na hiyo vita, juu vita ikitokea hakuna, huwezi elewa tu ni Mwisraeli. Vita ikitokea kila mtu anakuwa victim.
Okay.
Sasa nadhani wameathiriwa, na sidhani kama tuko na embassy huko, lakini kenye najua embassy yetu hapo Israel iko Tel Aviv.
Oh, Tel Aviv kule Israel, yeah?
Tel Aviv kule Israeli kuna embassy ya Wakenya hapo katika jiji la Tel Aviv.
Okay.
Unajua embassies nyingi zilikonga Tel Aviv, ni vile wakati wa Donald Trump alikuwa rais wa Uingereza, ndiye alihakikisha kwamba ile embassy ya Amerika imepelekwa mpaka Jerusalem City.
Oh, okay. So
Sasa
actually
American embassy right now is Jerusalem City.
ilileta vita kubwa sana, si ndio?
Sana ile vita kubwa sana.
Sasa kuna baadhi ya vitu ambazo zinatokea, tumeona pale Embakasi East, na nyumba zinabomolewa, kuna watu wameathiriwa sana, wakaaji wa pale wameathirika sana na ubomoaji wa nyumba hapo. Pia kuna mpango ya kubomoa nyumba pale Kibera, ambapo Kalonzo pia aliongelea juu ya hiyo maneno. So ni vitu ambazo zinaendelea, na pia kuna tu vitu chache pia ambapo labda pia naweza tu kuambia, kulingana na ile strike ya lecturers, the government forms a negotiating team to resolve university lecturers as usual. Sijui kwa nini hiyo inafomiwa. Remember yesterday we talked about the doctor, the lady, who was found dead. Today also, there is a decomposing body of an identified man found in a boot of a Range Rover. Hiyo ni Kenya. So vitu mingi tu zinafanyika.
Na
Pia
pia yule
yeah.
grandson wa Daniel Arap Moi pia alirejea nchini Kenya baada ya kupata matibabu huko India. Umeona hiyo?
Hiyo sikupata nafasi kuiona. Amerudi?
Amerudi leo, alipokelewa katika uwanja wa ndege wa Jkia. Na
Hiyo
nimeona
ni
kama amepata some criticism from the people that your dad mistreated us, now your generation is suffering.
na yenyewe tutaongelea hiyo. Pia kuna Sifuna ordered to withdraw from the Senate over Ruto remark. remarks. There's some remarks that the Nairobi senator made during the time during the that I think was yesterday during the senatorial session, and the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, ordered him to withdraw, and I think Sifuna did not do the. He said no. I'm very sure. Actually, there's a part that he says the let me just this part. The Nairobi representative also maintained that he could not withdraw the remarks which apportioned blame on Ruto for the recent abductions and killings alleged to have been commissioned by state officials such as the police, I quote. On Speaker, I suspect that you know that it might not be possible for me to withdraw those words and apologize. So, therefore, I request that I sit down and await judgment as shall be directed by the chair, Sifuna responded. So that is Sifuna for you in the Senate. So hiyo ndio naona iko hapo na pia unajua leo nilikuwa nasikiza kwa sababu ukikumbuka watu wa Tanzania pia juzi tu, si juzi kama jana, Freeman Mbowe walikuwa nataka kuandamana lakini alishikwa akawekwa ndani. Hiyo maandamano haikuendelea. Na nilikuwa naona clip fulani inasema kwa mzee mwingine alikuwa anasema tofauti ya Kenya na Tanzania ni kubwa sana. Sisi hatuwezi andamana, hatujui Wakenya wanaandamana kwa nini. So huyo mzee alikuwa anasema hivyo. So hiyo iko hapo. Na pia kwa hiyo harakati ikapata mwanamuziki wa Tanzania ambaye ni kama wimbo zake huwaga wimbo za harakati sana. Anaitwa Nay wa Mitego. Sijui kama unasikiza wimbo zake. Ni mwanaharakati. Wimbo zake huwa zinagusa sana zile vitu, uongozi, zile changamoto ambao wananchi wanapitia. Na wimbo yenye alitoa jana ilikuwa inaitwa Nitasema. Na kuna mahali alisema watu wataki kuongea lakini yeye ataongea. Akasema tunaficha sana maradhi. Sasa unajua hizi ni shairi. Shairi unajua kuna ile ya ndani na kuna ile ya nje. Akasema pia kutoka nyumbani ni hakika. Like ukitoka nyumbani ni hakika. Lakini ili kurudi haina hakika. Hiyo ni hizo ni mashairi yake. Sasa hiyo wimbo yake inaitwa Nitasema. So nilikuwa naangalia hizo shairi alafu naangalia vitu ambazo zinafanyika nchini sana sana kwa nchi za Afrika. Unapata kama hiyo shairi yake, wimbo yake inaongelea vitu ambazo wananchi wanapitia kwa mikono ya viongozi ama wale wako kwa mamlaka. Ama unasemaje?
Nakubaliana na hiyo mistari yake ambaye alikuwa amesema kutoka kwa nyumba ni hakika na kurudi si hakika. Imenikumbusha tu wakati yule mkuu wa jeshi Jenerali Ogola. Jenerali Ogola alitoka kwake asubuhi lakini arudi kama yeye ni maiti. Unakumbuka? Sasa mambo yake ni ukweli kabisa.
Na pia hapo pahali umesema tu alitoka karudi na kwamba ni maiti. Kitu kingine pia ni kuwa kuna maisha moja tu ukafa, ambapo ukiwa tajiri ama ukue mtu mwenye hajafanikiwa kifedha, mko na maisha moja na maisha moja ni kaburi. So inamaanisha tajiri ama maskini wote mtakuwa kwa kaburi. So mtakuwa kwa kaburi moja, inamaanisha maisha yenyu ni sawa. So kwa wale ambao labda wanadhani wako na maisha tofauti, kuna siku itakuja mtakuwa na maisha same, sawa, ukiwa katika kaburi. Haijalishi wewe ulikuwa unaishi aje, haijalishi wewe ulikuwa na mali ya thamani ngapi ama wewe ulikuwa na shamba inatoshana aje. Kwa sababu unaona wengi wa viongozi wa Afrika unapata wako na mali kuzidi watu ambao wanalinda. Kwa kizungu tunasema kuwa the leaders continue to be rich as the citizen continue to become petty bourgeois. Unajua petty bourgeois?
Yeah.
Yeah. the petty bourgeois. So, and that's it. And let me come again. We want to talk about Onyonka. Onyonka said something that is very important. And I quote, you can see from that, Onyonka said, Gachagua and Ruto are fighting over sharing of the loot. So that is what Onyonka said. And I think he was on Citizen yesterday. And I told you we are doing the recap of what is happening. And Senator Onyonka is one person who is brought up in a family Awasomi. Zakari Theodori Onyonka was his father. Yeah, his father was an economist, and he said in the Amomogusiland, he was the first person to have a PhD, the first person in Kisiland to have a PhD. Actually, he went to Puerto Rico, later came and went to school in New York, later came back to become a politician. And there was a time he was taken to Kodiaga after having some scuffle with his opponent at Naribari Church. So Onyonka is coming from a political family and I would say a middle class family. And something that is said about his father was somebody who did not have taste for hypocrisy. He was very, very, very true to it, to himself. Like hii mambo ya kupiga makofi kama watu wataki hakukuwa nayo. So hiyo pia inaashiria inaonesha Onyonka pia ukiona venye ako. Na katika hii sakata la Adani, Onyonka amekuwa kwa mstari wa mbele ya kuipigania. Kama si yeye, kwa sababu yeye ni mtu ambaye amekuwa akisema Adani, Adani kila wakati akienda. So leo hii, hiyo ndio maneno ambayo tutazungumzia. Tunataka kujua ni kweli mambo ambayo inaletwa, like let's talk about the impeachment. Is it because there's misunderstanding or there's something, a deal that has gone sour? So that is what we want to focus on today. What is your take on what Onyonka said, if it is true?
Kabla niseme yale Onyonka alisema, pia huyu mwanamke anaitwa Kate Waruguru alitembelea naibu wa rais nyumbani kwake huko Nyeri, Rigathi Gachagua, na walikuwa katika mtandao wa kijamii TikTok hapo akiomba msamaha rais ya kwamba aliongea vibaya kuhusu Ruto atakuwa rais wa mula moja. Sasa alisema aliongea sana lakini kwa msamaha, na Rigathi Gachagua ndio bado kiongozi. Sasa nadhani hiyo tulizungumzia jana, lakini napata kwamba kumbe hao watu kwa nini ukishaongea katika public alafu unakuja kwa nyumba ya Rigathi Gachagua kuomba msamaha kwa TikTok?
So which means
uliona hiyo
so which means maneno ambayo wanasema hawamini ni ile wakishaona umati wa watu wanataka kufurahisha watu ndio hiyo sawa.
They are just looking to please the audience.
Okay. Keep Captain, habari gani?
Mzuri sana.
Uko salama?
Unajua Kiswahili yako bwana ni ile iko na discipline. Yangu nitachanganya kidogo na hii na mambo mengine. Iko poa?
Okay, asante sana. Wewe umekubaliwa kusema chochote, bora tu wasikilizaji wetu watasikia kenye unasema, kwa sababu hata hao unajua Wakenya kila mtu anajua Kiswahili. Ukisema ile ya mtaa na ukisema ile ingine pia bado wataipata kwa njia mzuri. So na hiyo ndio uzuri wa Kenya. So leo hii tunataka tu kuangalia, kwa sababu kuna jambo jana Onyonka akiwa katika runinga ya Citizen alisema kwamba watu wanapigana tu kwa sababu tu labda kuna biashara fulani haijaendelea vizuri, ile labda kuiba pesa ya umma ama kuna wizi ambao ilitokea loot. So hiyo ndio alisema kwamba watu wanapigania. Hii mambo ya hii ingine hii hakuna, hata mambo ya impeachment hakuna, ni hiyo tu ndio inafanya watu wapigane. Na sijui kama we maoni yako inaweza kuwa tofauti na hiyo ama.
Tumekuwa hapa kwa muda si kwa leo, yani mara mingi sana tumekuwa hapa. nishasema kitu kama hiyo siku nyingine kwamba wanapigania zile vitu zinatoka rais akienda penye anaenda anapewa kitu. Sasa mwenye ameachiwa serikali kuongoza anakuja anaitisha share yake, anaambiwa sasa, wewe unaitisha share yako, ulikuwa umeenda wapi? Unaona,
wewe ukwenda kuwinda.
So it is in the public domain, and everybody knows, even a small child, that these people, they are not even fighting for impeachment. They are not even fighting for the politics of 2027. These people is just a problem is sharing the cake. The cake from Joe Biden is becoming so much itchy that one person wants to run away with it. He doesn't want to share the cake with the brothers. That is where the problem is. That is why you see now the deputy president is called that umekuja sana. Yani umekuja sana, sijui, I don't understand. Amekuja aje? Yani ni kama amedemand yake sana ama namna gani?
Sasa okay. Sasa sijui kama utaniruhusu ndacheza kipande ya video fulani hapa alafu utaona itakuwa aje.
Explain to us in the frequency of Karen Nyamo how Rigathi Gachagua, who was a DO and a personal assistant and a one-term MP, has managed to buy hotels worth 3.5 billion in less than 2 years, has managed to construct flats on Riara Road worth 1.1 billion in less than 2 years. How is that mathing? Remember when people were complaining about the excessive budget in his office, the funding of his wife's, Dorcas Rigathi's, unconstitutional office, all this money that from our national budget that were going to these two offices was going to fund their two personal projects. For this person, who is a manic kleptomaniac, coming to Mount Kenya to start seeking sympathy, where was he when the Gen Zs were being killed? Where was he when women were killed and put in sacks? Where was he during the femicide protests? He was busy dipping his hands into public coffers and stealing. When Rigathi Gachagua was a district officer, he foresaw and presided over the mass evictions of Kikuyus in Molo, even killings, caused untold sufferings for Kikuyus in Limuru. At no point has Rigathi Gachagua ever had the interest of Mount Kenya at heart. He has always sought personal gain for himself and never for Mount Kenya people. At one point, he even attempted to kill Matiba's wife unsuccessfully. There is nothing good or positive about Rigathi Gachagua. In fact, it is so unfortunate that Mount Kenya can give their ears to Moishiro Ruto Oyo. Why would we do that? Rigathi Gachagua is overestimating his importance simply because you are a conspicuous flower girl at a wedding does not make you relevant.
Okay. That is maoni nimechukua kutoka kwa channel fulani na nilikuwa nataka tu ikuwe sababu ya sisi pia kuzungumza. Kulingana na Kenya amesema ni kuwa ukiangalia kulingana na venye amesema ni kuwa ujenzi imefanyika within a period of short time. Mtu ako na vitu ambazo like you cannot account for it. Miguda, what do you say about that?
I want to agree with Captain Keith, but with a different view of it.
Yeah.
That it is true that these people are fighting over the sharing of whatever they have looted, or it is true that the president has gone into various countries and he has brought goodies, then they are fighting over these goodies. But now my point is, what if Rigathi Gachagua has accumulated more than these people expected him to take? Because everybody is taking away, is trying to rush away. They are complete with time before the tenure of Mr. President comes to an end. So within a short period of time, Rigathi has managed to have much than they expected him to have. Because that's why they bring impeachment motion. It can be on the ground that share their in rift over the goodies to be looted. But at the same time, maybe Rigiji has taken much than they expected him to take. And now the question could be, it is me who is going to look for these things. Then after bringing them, you are not in the scene. You are not negotiating for them. Then all of a sudden, you have taken much. Look at what that lady have said. That Rigiji just never have any interest of Kikui's at heart. There was a time I was going through TJRC report, Truth, Justice and Reconciliation report. It was never implemented in this country. There was a name for Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua that he was a DO and he presided over the ejection of Kikuyus in Molo. So by that time, he never knew that Mlima ni muhimu. Why is that when his interest is now at stake, is now want to defend the interest of the people of Mount Kenya? So my view could be maybe Rigiji has these people like Kimani Ichung'wah, Didmas Baraza, Oscar Sudi. We know they are also taking this thing. All of them are corrupt. But now they are amazed that number two is more corrupt than them, and he has been absconding his duties. He has been missing in president's events, and when they come into accountability, he has accumulated more than they expect him to accumulate. So the issue of impeachment might be on the ground that Rigiji has accumulated more than these people expected him to accumulate.
So, okay, that's okay, but like when you look at it and you look at the people, because you see the ladies now coming back and saying how dare now he comes to Mount Kenya and to get that sympathy, and maybe the majority of people from Mount Kenya are listening to him and say, okay, you are a target, yet they don't look at the bigger picture of what is taking place, like some of the things that the lady is saying.
I think the ladies against the sympathy effect about it, because it doesn't want the people to sympathize with Rigathi Gachagua, because she's like seeing people want to sympathize with him and want to embrace him on the ground that is being undermined, is being mistreated with the current regime, but he's the same like the people whom he's purporting to be mistreating him. They're the same. Rigiji and Ruto, those people are putting pressure on Rigiji. They're the same. The only difference is that they have realized late that Rigiji, for instance, they have said that Rigiji has been accused by Kimani Ichung'wah that Rigiji has 5 hotels worth 1.1 billion within this short period of time. So people are like, we thought Rigiji could have not managed, but within this short period of time, he has accumulated this much. So then he's trying to tell the people of Mount Kenya, do not sympathize with him. The same way you bought a sympathy card for William Ruto and you make him president, Rigiji will persuade you to sympathize with him, but Rigiji is never a saint. It's just like the boss and the boss dogs. You know, the people who back, those are the people who have interest of looting this, because Rigiji has been looting. You have had people like Baraza being accused of owning private choppers within a short period of time. People like Tudi has been accused of they're managing the collection of garbage in Nairobi city, those tenders.
Which
so
he said no.
These people, they want to get Rigiji out of the way because
Well, remember when he was at Obina Live, he said
Yeah.
he's not that. Sudi,
He said
are you
what?
getting? He said he's not doing the garbage of Nairobi, that what he was being accused of.
But you have a right to plead not guilty, even in court of law. Pleading not guilty doesn't mean that you don't do. That's why I've said it was an allegation. Even the Rigiji one is not. It has not been proved. It's an allegation that Rigiji is corrupt. So either way, the main point is these people. The issue of impeachment can be based on the ground of looting. The interests of the people have not converged. So the interests of the president and his boys have converged. So they are pushing Rigiji away from the equation.
Okay, thank you. Kip, let me come to you. When you look at what is happening, and this is about the leadership, the people that we elect to go and represent our views or represent our needs in the parliament, be it in the presidency, the presidency, the legislature coming down to the governors and all that. And with them not kind of like fighting for the people, but just fighting amongst themselves. Yeah. Yep. Even the legislation that they might be fighting over, they're not the legislation that is not that does not give people of Kenya those services, but they fight amongst themselves as leaders. Does it mean that the people that we elect to go to the leadership, they're not prepared to the task that they're given by the people?
I think, Benson, we are all aware of how our leaders are. There's nothing in parliament that touches the ordinary mwananchi like me and you can be considered in by those people to be something very tangible. They only discuss things that they know. After 1 or 2 months, they are the ones who will benefit on that thing they are trying to discuss. For example, you can see them when they are increasing their salaries. Those who will miss the parliament are the likes of like Sudi, which is we will not even, it cannot make that voting not to go through. It will go through because one person who doesn't speak English or who can even not speak Swahili in parliament cannot make that the motion of salary increment not to pass. It will pass because they know the other people will come in. No opposition by then. There is no independent. They are all in parliament to increase their salary. But let's come to the thing that deals with ordinary Kenyan.
Yeah.
Like deals like passing all those they want to pass, like these Adani or whatever. It's only because that the other day they saw Gen Z, they are coming, they are very, very annoyed. They cannot agree on what they are telling them. Otherwise, they could have passed the thing because the president has said, and this issue was shared. You see, let me say something about what you are asking good about this thing of Rigiji having 3 hotels in like 3 or how many hotels in 2 years. You can remember even when William Ruto was deputizing Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga was moving around the country. Hii kanisa milioni moja, hii kanisa milioni moja, na tunajua mshahara yako. Remember, he was the deputy president. Now, the only difference here that is coming out is that they are fighting Rigiji on the first term, but Ruto was fought on the last term, where he seeks the sympathy votes. So for now, I don't know how Kenyans will sympathize with Rigiji to continue being the deputy president for another 5-year term to come after 2027. That scenario is going to change. We know of people like Murkomen. They have had like even choppers. The way we've been told, they have choppers within 2 years. Where are the money coming from? Why is it that they are just quoting Rigiji alone, while yet we know even the culprits who are in the side of the president, in fact, they are rotten to the core, and no one is mentioning them. Even the other day was trying to talk about Rigiji that Kumbavu or what. The other woman was saying he will sponsor the motion in parliament as a speaker to remove Rigiji. While the brothers in they are the corrupt people, the best corrupt. In fact, we call them the highest corruption promax, 16, and 17. So they should not come here and tell us that they are the best, and yet they are the worst than the best.
Yeah. So, like what you say, because now this is the worst part of it. In the country, the state itself, the country as Kenya, when it comes to economy of the country is not doing so well in terms of economy, and even the cost of living is very high. But the people who are employed on the state are thriving than the employer. What does that one tell the people, or what picture does it give to a country where the employees thrive more than where they are working at?
You see, in Kenya, our leaders that we are electing We are not electing our leaders to go and work for us. We are electing our leaders to go and look for money for themselves. You see? And that is why the problems now our people are facing, they have a lot of problems. Shida baada ya shida. Unalala leo ukiwa na shida. Kuamka kesho shida imechange, hata sasa imekuwa more than shida. Tunamaliza ya kesho ingine shida inakuwa ime multiply to the worst. Each and every day problems. While the elected people, they are not looking on that. They are just in parliament trying to enrich themselves. So sometimes we need change.
Okay, let me come to you, Miguda, because this history that we've seen, especially with the executive before and after the new constitution, where we had the Jaramogi had issue with the President Kenyatta, then it came Saitoti sometimes with Moi. Then we saw that with Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto, and now we are seeing it with again Ruto and Rigathi. What do you think should be done so that the executive should not have this kind of quarrels that we are seeing, so that they can have that kind of respectful environment, that they can work freely without these squabbles? Because if executive is fighting or the political class is fighting, this is frustrating the people. You know, each and every year you will find like the executive are fighting and back and forth in the public. Is there something that can be done on the executive to look at it so that they can have that harmonious working condition or working environment?
We have tried as a nation to amend our executive. You know, before the 20th constitution, we had a scenario whereby we had a president and the vice president. And there was some times whereby we begin with Jomo Kenyatta as the prime minister, then later become president. We have had even the 8 deputy presidents, in this 8 vice presidents in this country from the east who are vice president of the Jomo Kenyatta. And we introduced the issue of deputy president in the constitution. So I don't think we have done much. People are saying that they should expand the executive. Remember in 2007, 2008, we had prime minister, 2 deputy prime minister. Then there were still wars. Raila used to complain about many things, red carpet, who to speak first. So he was complaining even funds in the office of the prime minister. So by asking that what we should do in the executive, I think we have tried as a nation to rectify the executive. The problem is our leaders, the characters of the people in these positions. That's what the problem is. We should get. We have said that even there's nothing wrong with our constitution. We just need a leader who can implement it. So our leaders are putting their interests first. You know, me when I was young, I thought politics was a good thing, baby. You are being elected, you work for the people, you deliver services, you upgrade your community, you pay for people's school fees through CDF. So I thought it was a very nice thing to be a leader. But as I grow up and try to understand how politics it is, I realized that politics people, they are just going to those positions to loot. No one is going to work for the people. People are just in this politics business just to do their dealings, their businesses, to make themselves wealthy, to make themselves rich. You know, as a young person, I like politics. I want to become a politician. But as time comes by, I realize that the game these guys are doing, people like these big politicians, people like Raila, Ruto, the Kenyatta family, the Moi family, these people, they are deeply in their business in politics than the interest of the people. And sometimes you might think that they are even thinking about the electorate, the average voter. They don't mind about the average voter. These people mind about their own dealings, how their business will work, people, how they will, even the laws in the National Assembly, Brother Benson. There are some laws you can find that opposition will support those bills to be passed. And there's some which they will not support. For instance, the laws that favor like things like the energy, Raila usually support them because he's the leading businessman in the field of energy. So he will support those laws. Even the laws in parliament, they are making laws that favor their businesses. People in the agricultural sectors, in the transport sectors. So even the legislative part of it, the parliament, are being used by these big politicians to ensure that laws which are passing in parliament are the one that is going to favor their businesses to move on and to thrive. So basically, the people the people should understand and should be aware that the politicians do not understand the word service delivery. They don't know. The politicians don't understand the word common mwananchi. Once they are elected, and I've asked myself, what is it that even a good person, you are electing someone who is better before you become politician. Once he joins that august house, that
Yeah.
National Assembly, they are the same. Even the people you thought are good people, they behave the same. So I don't know what is in that house. That's once, even I don't know if I can get a chance to get into that house, I'll be like them. I do not know for now. But what I can tell you, we have tried to structure our executive. We have tried as a country. We have introduced many forms, parliamentary system, presidential system. Even right now, we have broad-based government. It's not working for us. So the problem is corruption. That's the poison that is biting us, the corruption. So once we can get those people who are not corrupt, leaders who don't mind about their own self-interest, who don't accumulate wealth primitively, you accumulate everything to an extent that you don't even have anything for the people. So if you can get those leaders in this country, we are good to go as a nation. The problem is not governance. The problem is the leaders in this country. Once we rectify the issue of leaders, we will get it right as a nation.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see my good friend Gibson Corner. Thank you so much for joining us. Also seeing Kenya Kenya Rebel. Habari gani kaka? Unaweza enda pale kwa chaneli yake pia ako hapo anatwanga maneno. Sasa anauliza hii mambo ya Cherargei because this is not the first time that Cherargei is talking about tabling a bill in parliament to extend the term limit for a president. He was talking of 5 to 7 years. And I don't know how that one is going to cure things that we have like corruption, transactional politics, because we know how politics in Kenya is kind of like transactional. The money exchange, the rate at which the money exchange hands, yeah, is like 200 and something percent. But the rate at which the development are getting to the people is at 0%. So I don't know, maybe Captain, something you can talk about the bill to extend the term limit for president for 7 years.
You know, Cherargei is mad. And I don't think we have to take him serious.
Yeah.
Because we are talking of reducing this thing to be 2 years or 3 years, or we are talking of increasing to 7 years. If we are tired of 5, we want this thing to be 3 years. If that is now what Kenyans can sympathize with them to be 3 years. But otherwise, something like 5 or 4, no, it is wrong. We have to change it. When they are changing their narrative somewhere, we will change also the narrative on this other side. We want the thing to be only 3 years. Kama imeenda sana. I think for the like senators, they don't have a limit, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
They don't have a limit.
Yeah.
Governors and the presidencies, they are one having limit.
So, and if you see somebody like Cherargei, somebody who is very learned and somebody who understands the challenges that we are going through, and they think of bringing such like legislation, does it mean that the people that are in power are not respecter of these institutions that we have?
Of course, how can they respect the institutions that they are holding? Yet you see, they are there to make the money for themselves. The other day, even they are changing money, even exchanging money in toilet. Who complained? The only complainers are the ones who they were not given. That is now it came to limelight that there were money exchange in toilet. But otherwise, for now, because maybe everybody is cutting the share, there is no complaint.
And coming to the issue of the shares, you know, the other day, Githoni Wamushomba was in TV. Actually, he was with who? He was with Kosgeo, where he was saying, as much as they might have gotten the lucrative PS or the lucrative, CSS, you know, cabinet secretaries, but the people with the power of the pen, or the people who have say, are the permanent secretaries. And she was complaining that the people, the PS in those positions were making direct calls to the president. That's I quote her. She was on a national TV saying that, and that's where now the problem is, because like a PS, you're just there to. It was like a PS. If you're even from, let's say, like we have CS Mbadi, we say that he's from there, so we say we are in government, but like he doesn't do much because there are people who have the power of the pen who will call the shots. And how is this one going to make Kenya to develop?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I think I'm lost. I didn't manage to hear what Kadunwa Mushomba and the other guy you are talking about. They
Okay,
said I didn't see the video or whatever.
This is what was. Let me just brief you. This is what was happening. She was saying, okay, you've given us the lucrative PSS, you know, treasury.
To Mount Murimas, because there is the word in time Murima.
Oh, let us now just generalize it. Each and every region, you've seen that, okay, for instance, now we are talking of a broad-based government. We might see like the people from the Luo Nyanza, they've been given the CS position and the energy. These are very lucrative ministerial posts or CS posts. Then when you go to Mount Kenya, also they have those deemed to be very lucrative. Come again to the Rift Valley and all that. But she was saying, like, despite the fact that you might be happy that we've been given very lucrative PS positions, but the people with the power of the pen rest with the PS, who sometimes they call directly to the executive, and sometimes you as a PS, you as a CS, you cannot implement what you're supposed to do, because the PSS are the people who have the power of the pen. And she was talking about some reallocation of funds, especially that was allocated to Mau Mau Road was reallocated, through the memo in between the PSS. So how that one sits with the country?
It's unfair because you remember even the other day Mbadi, when he was questioned, it was very difficult for him to answer because of the power of the pen that you are talking about now. He's somewhere that maybe he thinks that if I answer this, somebody somewhere is getting a call that why is he saying that? You see, actually, for those PSS, they are under control from somewhere. All of you know where the control comes from. That is why it's very hard for them to survive with the CS. It's very hard to survive with the CS. You see, like that allocation of the money to that road you are talking about.
Yeah,
it was from the office of the PS.
Yeah,
not even from the office of the CS himself. So that is the problem from the executive, that they are interfering with everything, interfering with the ministers they have given the job through their juniors. Those are PSS.
They're doing their job.
Exactly.
Miguda, now let's come and reflect on the society, because when you look at our society in terms of politics, or the leaders that we have, there's a way in which they classify people and they glorify the riches that the people in elective who are given the privilege to serve us. We celebrate the positions, but we don't celebrate the services that they're giving us. Once they see you with a big car, they will celebrate you, especially in our community. Sometimes omera ine miramo wateri, so the car, they don't look at your character, but they look at the car that you have, and that one qualifies you to run for that office or to be given that vote, but in real sense you don't deserve. How can we change that narrative of the society?
Wanaheshimu pesa yako, wakuheshimu.
Wanaheshimu pesa yako kwa sababu wanajua ukiwa na gari kubwa kama hilo, uko na pesa na wanaona utawasaidia, lakini sijui, hebu sema.
Let me respond to the issue of Cherargei, then I'll finish with that one.
Okay.
Cherargei, based on the reason why, first, the term limit of governor and the president in this country is 10 years. and there were reasons why they were crafted to be 10 years. MPs, MCAs, senators, women rep, they are unlimited. You can go as so long as you can be elected. We had a history in this country that Moi ruled for 24 years. And when the people were framing the constitution, they saw it wise that, in their own wisdom, that it is because we are to avoid the issue of dictator and also to avoid the rise of dynasties. Let us lower it. Let us put it a limit of 10 years. And because Kenya, we are diverse, we are many, so you can give other people also a chance to rule. And that's why it was crafted it to be 10 years. Cherargei is trying to copy paste the USA, because the USA, the first president of the USA, Washington, served for 8 years, and now it was entrenched in the constitution that term limit for a president in America should be 2 terms, that is 8 years, because they saw it was that if the first president was effectively reformed the America within 8 years, so there's no need for one to stay more than 8 years. There's nothing you are going to do much, which Washington did not do. That's why they put it 8 years. Now, as we put ours 10 years, for 2 reasons. One, to avoid the dictatorial we had with Moi. Number 2, to prevent the rise of dynasty. Because if you serve for too long, you are raising someone to take from you. So we wanted to prevent that issue of dynasty. But I'm surprised because there are the people who are opposing the dynasty versus hustlers. Today, you want to introduce 7 years to bring up or other rising dynasties. Cherargei is very wrong. Yeah. Even when he's being informed by voice that the first president of this country, Kenyatta, served for 14 years. So he wanted to make it 7-7. But he's forgetting that Kenyatta first he served for 5 years, then he was re-elected in 1969, then he went for 9 years, making it 14 years, which was also unconstitutional. Cherargei should try to bring some constructive legislation in the Senate. To answer the issue of our culture, particularly where we are coming from.
Wait, before you go to our culture, do you think is raising this because maybe the president is coming from his community, or why?
Yeah, I was very clear that we put it 10 years to allow other people also to come to that seat. And also at the county level, there are some counties which are diverse. For instance, Migori County, Trans Nzoia County, that it should allow even other regions. It should come from this sub-county to the sub-county to allow other leaders also to emerge, also to lead. It should not be for one people. Now I think Cherargei is raising it. Yeah. I told you Cherargei is being informed with Jomo Kenyatta that Jomo Kenyatta served for 14 years. So Cherargei is trying to draft a law to introduce 7-7 to make it 14 years, because he's being informed with the history of this country that the first president served for 14 years. And he's citing the American people that Washington served for 8 years, making it 4-4. Now Americans have maintained that 4-4 to date. But he's forgetting that Jomo Kenyatta first is up for 5 years, then he was re-elected in 1969, then he went for 9 years, which is unconstitutional. So the historical fact which is being informed, which is informing Cherargei, is also not factual. So he's trying to, in his argument, you should read that bill. Me, I've tried to go through it. He's trying to cite Jomo Kenyatta and he's trying to cite Washington. He's forgetting that when we were drafting our Constitution 2010, to prevent dictator in this country, and also to prevent the rise of dynasty, it should be maximum 10 years. So there was nothing to go beyond 5 or 7 years. So Cherargei maybe thought that he want to create another dynasty, another dictator. Cherargei should avoid that one. We are tired even of 10 years. We want even it to be 5 years. So the issue of people.
Aguda, you are saying he's trying to show when Kenyatta was president, he went for 14 years, you said, 7-7.
Yeah. No, 5-9.
5-9. Which I don't know. Anyway, those can add up to 14 years. Let me ask you, why it was Raila is now the president? Do you think Cherargei could have done something like that?
The reason why I can say he could have not done something like that, because when he was sent in 2017, He never proposed it when Uhuru was president. So similarly, he could not propose it when Raila is president.
Why is he now proposing when William Ruto is the president? Don't come over 9 years and 5 years for Kenyatta.
Yeah, that's what I think. Like he might be informed because maybe the presidency coming from his region. That might.
No. That is why is because the president is coming from where Cherargei comes from.
Yes.
And so be it, Miguda and Benson. If in any way that this thing will be amended to be 7 years, then it must be 1 term only, not 2 terms.
But even if it's 1 term, 7 years is more.
It's better to take that for 7 years and he goes one way. Direct with the deputy president. No, not the president.
They go all of them.
2 of them they should go.
So
we have a new batch of the leaders to come when they have looted enough.
Ndio hiyo Ania anasema watu wa Kibera leo ndio wameamkia from slumber, watakuwa replaced by hizo gorofa. Yeah, there's Eric Ayaga also is saying Raila got an opportunity to enter the government. Former Kieleweke blogger who had started gravitating towards Gachagua are now firmly inside the government and have abandoned him. Okay, that is what. So I think to me, I might not say I cannot read his mind, the mind of Cherargei, but I think what is informing him, among other things that he might be raising, or might other things. Oh, may I say that another pointing factors? I think that clanism or tribalism, in a very intelligent way, is trying to fix it in there. So and you know, you've talked of. I know you're coming to our social, how our society is, but something that we also have to agree, Miguda, when you look at our constitution, you know, it has failed us in a way. If I might not be wrong, because we did not look at ourselves and we draft something that is working for us. You know, we so much rushed into it. Remember, you can go to clips whereby I've said it here so many times that you will utakuwa unaenda unasimama, polisi akikusimamisha utasema mbona unataka kunisimamisha, lakini ati itakupatia that power. Yes, but is it working? It's not, because remember the place where you copied them, the police has the cars. Yeah, they don't just walk on the street with the rungus. They have the cars. Yeah, they are very much equipped. You know, yeah, the system is working. You know, but sasa wewe niambie utapatana na polisi ambayo hata ukienda pale anaishi yenyewe ni shida. So I think we when we were drafting it, we were so much in a hurry in terms of looking at how we are going to get the power, but we did not look at the side of how the service delivery is going to be done. That's why you feel now he's saying he wants to bring it and citing about the American George Washington. But what made the Americans to think like, okay, let's do it 2 terms instead of one person going for all those 8 years? Has he asked himself about that?
I might agree with you on certain areas. That first, the issue of tribalism, maybe sneaking it through intelligent way.
Yeah.
But the way I was trying to clarify, because we should have checked at the grounds why is he bringing it. Maybe it's being informed by those history. But again, it can be informed by the history at the same time. He's playing that tribal card which we don't want. And the issue of our constitution, the framers of the constitution were in a hurry. I think during the framing of the constitution, they were being briefed by the leaders. Those people were at Bomas, maybe the secretariat, those who were writing it, those who were crafting it. They were consulting the politicians that put for me this one, the other one put for me this one. There are some clauses which people have said in public that they brought in. The issue of, for instance, the Supreme Court to hear and determine presidential petition elections. Otindamolo said that is the one who sneaked it in the constitution. There was one which was brought by William Ruto. They were with Karua, and Karua said it, that they sneak some clauses in the constitution, some articles. And remember, even Miguna has confessed that he was advising Raila, let us have a parliamentary system.
Yeah.
But the people like Kajuang and Orengo opposed that once Raila becomes president in 2013, everything will be sorted. There will be equity. So there's no need of bringing parliamentary system. Let us deal with federal system. So I think you are right in the sense that during the writing of the constitution, people were having different opinions from their leaders, but they never knew that one day, when it comes to implementations, it will. The other, you look at those who took power, different people who served for 10 years. Now Ruto is in power, so they were making this constitution with informed people in their mind that so and so will be the IG, so and so will be the president, and that's why we have a problem in this country to implement this constitution.
And I agree with Ayaga. Our constitution is very progressive in the world, but implementation is the problem. And why is that implementation a problem? Because implementation is a problem because our character traits cannot match what is in the constitution. I wish they could have studied themselves, we as Kenyans, and see what is it working for us. You know, if we say right now, because talking about you're talking about the parliamentary system where we do not have like the opposition leader, where we call them the minority. Opposition leader is there. It's just that the changing of the name and the roles that have been changed. Because back in the days, opposition leader would run for the presidency together with the member of parliament. So if you fail to be the president or you become number two, you will become the party with the majority members of parliament. Yeah. Remember, even the president was running for, was an MP before the 2010. He was the president. You have to have a represent a constituency. Yeah. And immediately after that, when we got the 2010, that one was out. Then what changed is that now was when you run for presidency, immediately you lose. You become second runner-up as a candidate. You become obsolete. So what happens is that now you go to the house. After going to the house, you have to the minority will have to appoint one of their own to run in the parliament, to be like opposition leader to check the government, or to be the leader of the minority, yeah. And as we speak right now, Junet is the minority. Not even the minority. The minority should go to Wiper because they are working with the government. The minority should go to Wiper, because they are, but now we did not look into that. Yeah. So that is what is making us the implementation is there. And we violate it and we want to change it. Look at even what is happening, right? Look about the NADCO report. What were they saying about NADCO report? Change of the executive. Yeah. But will that one solve the issues that we have? If ours is the very progressive in the world, why are now bringing all the prime minister, not looking at what the cost for paying them? They will be running those offices. Yeah. So maybe you are taking me good. Let me see what Ayaga is saying.
I agree with Ayaga that our constitution is progressive, and you have said that one here, time with that number, that is one of the best constitution in the world. It's a progressive one, it's very transformative. But we were discussing why is it not working for us as a nation? And those are the things we were trying to call out, not that it is not progressive. It's very progressive, we admit that one. But the implementation is wrong. And why is it that implementation is wrong? So that's are the things we are trying to clarify.
The implementation is wrong because we did not investigate ourselves and look at what is working for us.
That's why I say, as a country, we ought to have sat down and look at Kenya, not look at the USA or United Kingdom or South Africa. We look at as a Kenya, and we admit that we are diverse.
Yeah,
we are more than 40 plus tribes, and we admit that Kenyans leaders are corrupt. So that we draft something, even how to handle corrupt leaders, we should put some very tough laws for them. But we never admitted our fate as a country. We rushed to make something for the nation, but we never admitted that as country, we are diverse. We are more than one tribe, and also we have leaders from the historical perspective of it that people were corrupt even from the time of Kenyatta, time of Moi. People were corrupt. Things like killing civilians, citizens did not begin with William Ruto. People have been assassinated even in the Kenyatta's government, Moi government, even Kibaki's government. People were assassinated. People have been corrupt. So by writing a constitution, we should put those measures to ensure that how can we curb these things going forward. That's why I said we were misled by the people who are leading the drafting of this constitution. But we have noticed that it is a bad one. It's a progressive one.
Yes, 100%. Even if you look at our neighbors, Ani saying Juneta ko Gava, what are you saying? ODM has failed Kenyans. True, that's what I was saying. I say hao watu wame in quotes. Unajua, umeona palipopote wamekubali kwamba wako Gava, wanasemaga tu tulipatianaga ma experts. Na hao ma experts uliwaona juzi waliulizwa maswali. Wewe let me see. His elective post should be scrapped for 10 years. Tubakishe president na vice president. Hiyo hiyo iko hapo ile. Wacha niseme Egyptian Corner anasema nini? Egyptian anasema our constitution devolved many things like why should we have CS for health yet it is totally devolved docket. And that's the reason why I was saying is we did not sit down and look what is working for us. There is so much duplication of roles in this constitution that we have or in this government that we have. I wanted to talk about the health. What this is something that I'm telling you. The health sector will not, I don't think that it will work in Kenya because the way it is being run. Because if you look at how it is, in areas, if you look at how health usually work, there's how it works in countries. There's somebody who is outside the country can help me do this. You find in most cases in developed world, the governments, they usually do not have the hospitals. Sometimes like you may find the hospitals are for especially for veterans. Those one might be run by the government. But what usually happens, they give you opportunity to purchase the insurance, your insurance, depending on how much you can earn. And there's that affordable care that is offered by the government. And that is offered by the government. It also depends who are you when you're buying it. They will look at I think they will look at what you are earning. You know, you don't just buy it, you know. So when you purchase insurance from your best insurance firm or insurance that you want, and you'll go to that hospital, you know, then that one will be okay. So you have the right to go to different hospital that you want based on the insurance that you have. But this idea that the government is controlling it sometimes is quite much difficult. Sometimes it will not work because sometimes you go to the counties, go even to our counties hospital. Look at the dispensaries, the money that sometimes they take to build those dispensaries. They don't even pick up, yeah, the employment of doctors, yeah, you know. So that is something that also is happening. Hani saying the whole world has gone mad. Ayaga si akuja hapa tuambie, lakini let's go back to what I was asking you about the society, because one of the roles of the leaders, they are given to serve the people, you know, but you find that even the people themselves sometimes get carried away with the privileges that they've been given. When you come with all these big cars, yeah, but you cannot deliver, and the society praises that.
You know, I don't know how it works in other communities, but in our community, once the people have identified you that you are wealthy, you have money, you have big cars, you have good business, they will just walk from village to Nairobi to your office, and they will persuade you, Brother Benson, there's a gap in the village. You are the one who can help our people. We have orphans, we have widows, our roads are poor, you have shortage of water. Come and clean the mess. They know how to persuade you. They will come with elders, church leaders, youths, They will visit you. For instance, if you are a lawyer, they will come to your law firm in Nairobi. They persuade you. I don't know, but most of the people are being swayed away with their conviction until they go back to the village and contest for those seats. I have a friend of mine. Let me just say a friend of mine because for the public interest. I have a friend of mine who he was doing very well in business, construction business, a very young man like me. Now they persuaded him to join politics. So he started campaign very early. Not only the village people, even these people like, for instance, let me use ODM because I'm familiar with ODM.
Yeah.
And I can defend myself before them. Most of them are my friends. So, even the ODM people like John Bad, the chairman for ODM, they will visit you to your home and persuade you that I've talked to Baba. People like Junet, they will come to you. I've talked to Baba. Baba will say that today, Suna East, you are the one who's going to give a ticket. You know what they want? They want that your money to pump it in that ODM. So that culture is not only for the average voter for Leroy. It cut across even to the leaders in the National Assembly. Right now, if you look at my home constituencies, I have like 3 young candidates who want to be member of parliament. They're roughly 27, 29, 30. And they started their business recently. So because they have money, they have been persuaded with the party. I was talking to them. They told me that we have talked with Mbadi before Mbadi became treasury. Mbadi said that I'm going to give a ticket. I've gone and I've seen Baba, I've seen Junet, I've seen Mama Haida. So once they identify you have money or you are doing good in business, they will persuade you to contest. People believe that leadership is all about money. Leadership is all about big cars. Leadership is all about.
Do they understand the challenges that people are going through or the reason why they are vying? That's the question.
They do not understand. That's why I told you. That's why we end up with members of parliament who do not know how to speak English in the National Assembly. That's why we end up with members of parliament who have never brought any bill in that house. That's why we end up with members of parliament who, instead of representing the people, they are ever absent in that house. They don't come to that house, and they're saying their roles are many. That's why we have members of parliament who don't know the legislation process. They don't know the oversight. Instead of going to parliament and oversight the executive, they're in parliament and they are in bed with the executive. That's why I told you, they don't understand the role of a member of parliament. Someone who has not even read the constitution does not understand even what it entails to be a member of parliament, because he was persuaded with the people that because he's wealthy, someone who has been, Brother Benson, let me tell you one thing. Someone who has been focusing on making money, someone who has been focusing on the business, at what time does this person even get time to probably to read? Most of them, they don't get time to read because his mind is preoccupied with making money. So that's why we should not elect our leaders based on what they have in their pocket or because that's why we end up with governors. You have had some member of parliament. Someone has been in that house for 10 years. He has never uttered any word. The only thing was when he was being sworn in. And maybe I vote yes for finance bill. I vote yes. So it's very unfortunate for our society. We should shift the paradigm that we should elect a leader who understands his role as a leader. For instance, if the position of governor, we should not be preoccupied by politicians. Let's elect someone who can manage a county, someone who is away from a sycophant. Look at what Raila did to Luo Nyanza. I don't want to talk about Raila because they will say many things anyway. But the fact is, you can't give someone a sycophant ticket to work for the people of your county. That's why the people of Migori County are crying. People of Mobe are crying. People of CI are crying. They are saying that Orengo is not going on with them very well at CI there. Because Ayaga will counter later. Let me finish my point. Ayaga will have his time. Ayaga is coming from CI. They are saying that because they never elected those people, they left those people who could do well governor, and they focus on what society perceive them to be, or some people were persuaded. Some people were doing very good, Brother Benson, even in mining, in construction, but because of people are persuading you, you join politics, you lose your businesses, You lose your even your families now. They don't go to school. They used to go to school. Politics is also to add on that one. Politics is just fun the way you are saying it, but when you are inside it, it's not that easy. It's not even. They don't even enjoy it. Some people who are doing well outside politics, once they're in politics, their characters change. They are liars. They are dealers. They are killers. So
Okay, Mr. Yaga, habari gani? Ayaga. Na bado Laban, habari gani? Naona uko hapo kwa comment section, tuambie umeshinda aje. Don't be oppressed with Raila. Ours, we have our own. Hello, Mr. Yaga. Haya, wacha tutamsubiri akikuja, tutasikia anasema nini.
Hello, Bena.
Habari gani?
I think ni
network leo iko mzuri sana baba. Haya, network leo haiko mzuri kwako kaka. Naona hapa hata na kama network haiko mzuri sasa naye. Yeah, he's talking about mlifukuza Dominion investor in Kenya, in Nyanza. Actually rice Dominion hiyo iliendaga, and it used to produce a lot of rice during those days. Ukienda huko sides za huko, Ayaga kuja utuambie gavana wako anafanya aje, ama ameleta mabadiliko katika Siaya tangu Rasanga atoke, kwa sababu pia Rasanga pia alikuwa na tashwishi sana tukizungumzia. So nini hata when you look at even our counties, let me see. Ayaga, habari gani kaka?
Aya, sasa unanisikiza?
Nakupata kabisa. Niambie uko aje leo?
Niko poa. Shughuli za hapa na pale.
Pole kwa majukumu kaka. Sasa swali yangu kwa sababu
sasa nimesikiza ndugu yangu. Nimesikiza Miguda hapa. About the constitution. Our constitution, shida ya constitution implementation. Number one, I will just give you a few examples. We don't have something called opposition. But you even get people who are learned, lawyers, the people who have read the constitution, they are still talking about the opposition. That thing do not exist. The whole parliament, the work of the whole parliament is to oversight the government. And the judiciary is to do the check and balance. Where the executive is making excesses, zinakuwa balance. Where the parliament is making overreach, they are being taken down. Number two, the constitution devolve so much funds. Why should we have CDF? CDF became unconstitutional the day this constitution was promulgated. That day, the CDF became unconstitutional. It is now almost 10, 15 years later, the matter is still lagging in court. People are speaking about it as if it is something that has started becoming a constitutional just the other day with the Gen Z. It is unconstitutional. Number three, the third thing I will tell you which is unconstitutional is the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health should not be there. For what? It is a totally devolved function. The only thing that should remain with the national government as a parastatal, not as a ministry, is the level 5 hospitals. And I think we have only 2. Kisumu was promoted to a level 5 the other day. So it has always been Kenyatta to run its own affair as a parastatal, like Kenya Pipeline, like Kenya Power, like others. Those are not ministries. It can fall maybe under certain docket, but that hospital should be on its own as a parastatal. Another thing which is unconstitutional, and still we still have them today, provincial administration. Why should we have sijui they're called ROCs, sijui county commissioners, sijui sub-counties commissioners. I don't even know how they are called. Hii ya province ya kitambo inaitwa nini? Regional sijui coordinator sijui what. Those things should not be there. It is unconstitutional. Yeah, it is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. You can't do that. Another thing that is also very unconstitutional, and people talk about it, maybe if I remember. But with those, the implementation of our constitution is the problem. Where when we went to the parliament, the minute the MP calling himself, I'm a government side. You know, in other democracies, there is things called far right, sijui far left. Weka pahali kuna Bernard wanakaa huko, kuna hiyo far right, far left. In Kenya, we don't have the far right. We don't have the far left. What we have is simple: minority and majority. Haimanishi minority hayuko kwa government. Minority can be in that government. But the work of the whole parliament, as it's constituted, any member that is going to parliament, his work, number one work, is to implement or amend the constitution. Number two, to oversight the government. Those are the two functions of an MP.
Okay.
Then I had my brother Megoda also said, you know, we elect dealers, we elect in Kenya. For you to become rich, you must be a politician. Obama is not even the top 100 richest people in US, but can't happen in Kenya. You can't elect, tell me, a Kenyan president who is not even in the top 10 richest people in this country. Even in Uganda, Kaguta Museveni is the richest man there. Even in Rwanda, yeah, maybe Tanzania, I don't know because I don't follow their politics that much, and Ethiopia, because there is too much problem in Congo and South Sudan and Somalia. But in Africa, the people who are ruling, even in Nigeria, that guy is the richest man. He's called who? I don't know the name. He's the richest man. In fact, he used to Godfather. He was called Godfather. He used to bankroll whoever is becoming president. Tinubu, somebody like that. He's among the richest people in that country. Yeah, you can only compare him with Dangote and the rest. But the problem in Kenya is one: you are being elected. Look at somebody called Toto. We elect him with nothing the other day when she was running for Bomet women rep. He had nothing. Now he's now the richest people, among the richest people. Even if you go in a top 1,000 richest people, not you will find her name there. Or even top 100 richest people in Kenya, you will get her name there. Less than 5 years. Another one was coming from Meru and Selassie. So in Kenya, all the deals, all the broking is done by the government. Now, that's where our problem lies. They can't implement constitution. If they implement the constitution fully as politicians, that power, you know, there is a law that say that if you are a president, your family should not work or broker deal with any. That is there in our constitution. Nobody has dare implement it. Even a governor. These governors, they have company, offshore company, led by their sons, their proxies. They swindle money. That money goes and come back, and it comes back to their accounts. They run everything. You may think he had picked somebody from your village to run a company, and you say, "Oh, Orengo has given somebody from our village." That guy is only getting 10%. I'm even 15, just to be there as a signatory. to be called a CEO. 80 or 90% of that money goes back to Orenco. Yeah. So those are the things. If we implement today, people will say, politicians, their work is to go to work for people. But as we speak, that act cannot be cannot be implemented. Because if we implement it, it is only in Kenya where politicians are richer than business people. In Kenya.
Kwa sababu umesema mengi ambapo nakubaliana na wewe na kuna nyingine tofauti kidogo. Tofauti ya kwanza ambayo mimi niko nayo, when we talk of far left and far right, especially in the Europe, the far left and the far right, these are found in the parties. These are not found in the parliament. Because when you come even to US, you'll get Democrats and Republicans. There are those Republicans who stick with the tradition of Republicans that you cannot change their minds. And when you come to Democrats too, then again, there's something that we call liberal. Liberal are these kind of politicians who will listen to both the far left and the far right and can agree. And a typical example was the president for US, Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a liberal because he could listen to Republican and listen to Democrat, and they can come and agree. That is one. Now, let's come to something that we talk about. We talk about the opposition, which I agree with you that is not there. The leader of opposition is not there. And when the framers of the Constitution were doing, or they were writing the Constitution, they knew what they were writing because these were scholars, people who did their research and they knew how it works. But they went ahead and brought it in and bring it on the floor or bring it to the country. Later, the same people who were saying that, now they want to introduce that leader of opposition. Why?
Benson, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I was talking about far right and far left because in Kenya we don't have political parties. In this country we don't have political parties.
What do we have?
The things we have is only for one person's powerfulness saying I have this to bargain with, to get what I want. They don't exist here. We don't, even William Ruto will have another new party in 2027. UDA will be gone. I'm telling you, there is nothing like UDA government. It is William Ruto's government. He can change that the name of party today, or he can even join ODM or Jubilee, go back to Jubilee or any other party, and you can do nothing. So I was speaking about that because those parties, they have ideologies. There are people in those parties who are extremists. They believe in that country to go in this direction. And there are some people who also believe it, the same party. Here, somebody create a party and you cannot have your brain. You use their brain. So we don't have parties here. So number two, to come back to your question, the constitution, even when was being passed in 2010, the campaigners for the constitution, they said very well, 70% is good, 20% has a problem, because country wanted a new constitution. We got tired with the issue of independent constitution. It has been amended, and is that old constitution, it still had some loopholes where a president does this, does that. Like we just say, why should a president appoint deputy president? Now we know the problem. We have seen it with the first two presidents after the new constitution. Now we can even bring it on table. The same way some people want to bring back opposition, we can bring it back. Now let us elect the president and let the president appoint from deputy, the same way they used to do to everybody in Paka PSS. Because this elected deputy president causes trouble to the president. If there is also a need to have an opposition, Yes, we can also bring it on table. Let us bring the opposition. And my work is opposition for what? And what is parliament doing? If we are to bring the opposition, my mind, if we are to bring the opposition back, let us cut the size of parliament. Let us do away with the Senate. We will fund the opposition, of which we are creating a load up there. We have now, today we have like 390 members of parliament. Yeah. Add about 68, 67 senators. We have them. If they cannot do an opposition work for us, why should we have that large, big, bloated parliament
Now,
here to bring the opposition back?
Ayaga, now you agree with me
Let us
because
decide. Yeah.
let me see, because you're still talking about what I was talking about, that as a country, we did not investigate ourselves and look at ourselves and find what is working for us. You've talked about Senate. If you look at what the Senate has, it's a replication of what the American have, because American have the House of Representatives and the senators, yeah. And if you look at it, they have 100 senators for the whole United States. And when you come to the House of Representatives, they have 432. Now, when you come to the Senate, Senate does not have a speaker. They have what we call a president. And the president of the Senate is the vice president. That's how it works. And the only time the vice president comes to the Senate is when there are confirmation of electoral college votes. There's an election that has taken place. Now they are confirming the president-elect. That is the only time she comes to the Senate. That is one. Another occasion that he or she might come to Parliament, if there's a bill that has been presented in the Senate and there's a tie, the majority and minority, they have the same number of Senate. Yeah, they have 50-50. Then they want to pass that. The vice president will come to the Senate to break the tie. Two occasions. But in Kenya, we have a speaker that still controls. So that's why I was telling you that the idea of the Senate was a very good idea, but was it really working for us as a country? Look, comparing the population that we have. That's my question to you.
Okay, you can get me because umepotea hiyo dakika ya mwisho. So what?
Okay.
You can get me?
Yeah, I can get you well.
Yeah, the last question sijapata hiyo ya mwisho.
The last question I'm asking, the reason why I'm asking you this, what was the intention of, first of all, bringing Senate to us, bearing our population that we is one? And if you look at the Senate, one bringing in speaker, yeah, of the Senate, yet where they took that constitution, they copy pasted that constitution from, we do not have a speaker. We just only have the vice president who acts as the president of the Senate, you know. So it was not intended for service delivery, but it was intended for rewards of the political class.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Bernard, because number one, when the Senate was being created, Senate was created with a very good reason to defend the Constitution, because we didn't know the character of the president. The president we will elect might be somebody who is against the devolution. And so the Senate was to defend devolution. That's why it is only Senate who can summon a governor. And the governors are impeached at the Senate. And it is the Senate who should actually defend the devolution, because these presidents, they don't love devolution, I'm telling you. And that's why they still cling on into some devolved units. I'm telling you. These people, they had their brain wide open. That's why I'm saying the implementation for that person in power. Why should we have those county commissioner to checkmate the governors, to checkmate the governors on behalf of who? The president. And it is constitutional. So the Senate was the first people who should have raised alarm. Why should governors be checkmate by the executive? And the constitution on say Kenya is a one state with 48 unit of government. Which one is national government plus 47 county governments? That is what we are saying. Why should you poke nose into somebody's government just because you are the president and is the governor? Yeah. Now that's where the problem is. The problem is in the implementation. Let us not say these people, they were rushing, they made a bad mistakes. Yes, there were things they missed, and the many things they got right. Some with the two presidents we have just refused to let the parliament do their work to implement. Look like today, the executive has taken over the parliament. They do what they say is what parliament does. So should we abolish the parliament also? Because now it is parliament that is now doing wrong to Kenyans than any other organ. We cannot do away with the government, with the parliament. Parliament must be there. Let us look. Let us reduce the excesses of executive. You know, our constitution was made in a way that whoever is elected president, we should not even fight over it. He should be a ceremonial president. But it is this president, they don't want to be ceremonial presidents. They want to have the iron power. And that's where our constitution is in trouble. Like, why should the same government with the three arms, we make a case at the Senate or at executive, and then an activist goes to the parliament, to the judiciary, and the judiciary rules out the government, the executive, telling the executive this is unconstitutional. Is there any coordination between these three arms of government? Now that is the problem. That is where the problem is. The judiciary is trying to stand on their own, but their budget is being dictated by the executive. We should have a proper budget of the judiciary stated in the constitution.
Ayaga, you're missing the point. You're missing the point here. And where you're missing the point is this. The work of the judiciary is to interpret law. They interpret. The work of the legislature is to amend or make laws. Once the legislature make laws, they cannot interpret those laws. Why? People feel like there's something wrong. They go for the judiciary to interpret. That is the work of the judiciary. It doesn't matter what the executive has said, but provided that you've gone to the judiciary, they will interpret on the constitution. Now, coming to the Senate that you're talking about, the reason why I'm saying the Senate, why then, if we feel the Senate was there to checkmate the governor, why were they putting it so much selectively that some of the things they were picking from the copy pasting from other constitutions, they did not pick it well? Because if you find on how the Senate work, even when you want to impeach a president, the speaker does not preside over when impeaching a president. What will happen? They will bring a judge to come to the Senate, and this one will be led by either the majority member of parliament, the majority member of the Senate will lead this, or it depends who is being impeached. So what is happening is when they were bringing the senatorial legislation or the senatorial house, they were very selective on what they were going to bring to favor them. Because right now, the senator is being used like, I will reward you, speaker, so that you can give me your vote. And that's not how the framers of the constitution did it. It was if somebody is to be given a speaker, it's based on the qualification, not how many number of votes you're bringing to a particular party where you are. That's what I think. If we want to look at it deeply, when talking about implementation is okay. We are not doing implementation. But when they were writing it, they were far much ahead of the Kenyan people, that maybe Kenyan people were thinking, okay, this is going to work for us. But with them in their mind, it was a political gift for them, because you make a coalition. After making a coalition, say, okay, what are you bringing on the table? When we win, I'm going to give you the Senate. I'm going to give you the speaker. Not that you've qualified to be a speaker. You're not that you're qualified, yeah. And if you look on how even the speaker is being elected, the speaker should come from the house, not outside the house. That's how it is done. How do you go as far as, like, especially for the Senate? Uh, the senator did not run for any elective seat, but he just brought his party in coalition. Then that's what he was rewarded to get the position, which is not right. Or how am I reasoning badly, Miguda?
You are reasoning very well. You are very well in your reasoning, and you got the facts. Maybe I don't know where you and Ayaga you don't catch up, because even what I say is very simple. Even no matter they leave alone issue of
where we are not agreeing, its implementation is okay. But the reason why I'm saying that what happened was, when this was being done, the constitution was okay. It's a very progressive, but the political class, I say, was so much ahead of Kenyan people. Yeah, they were so much ahead because even you see how it was very selective, because it's a copy paste of American Constitution, majority of it. Yeah, if they were copy pasting, why could they copy paste all when it comes to the Senate? Why were they putting?
I got you. The problem could be Ayaga want to bring his point to that Senate purposely was to defend devolution, because he believed that most of the president were never happy with the devolutions. But he doesn't want to admit that during the framing of the constitution, there were having informed people in their mind that once we have this constitution, we will have senators, we will have governors, we will have speakers. So during the sharing of this power, we'll have already informed people. This constitution was made with the informed people in mind that this person will be the president, and when he takes the president, what will have as this region. And what you are trying to tell Ayaga also is, if it comes to impeach the president or the deputy president, it is not the whole house. After hearing and determining, they are going to form 11. It's more of a bench in court, 11 people outside the Senate, who are now going to hear and determine. It's like a quasi-judicial system whereby it's a court by itself, not that is going to be discussed in the Senate, the conduct of the president. So that's why I say you are very factual in your argument. I think Ayaga is just trying to defend his point, but it's just also right.
Yeah, is right, but where we we are agreeing with Ayaga, but where we don't agree is how I'm just trying to view on how the political class was far much ahead of Kenyans.
That's okay. That's very right.
Talk even about your in term before you impeach a governor. We have the county representatives. Yeah, sometimes if you find the grounds on how even they impeach governors does not even make sense. Yeah, and they bring this to Senate. No, some of the impeachment does not even make sense. And you look at even the deputy governor. Yeah, the deputy governor, look at it is something that they created, because some of the things that we are saying, like the deputy government, they are just additional. When you come to the US, where it was borrowed, we do not have the deputy governor. Ayaga. Hey, Ayaga. Leo
if you want let me just add something before Ayaga comes in. If you want to, I just want to maybe add a flavor in your point. If you want to believe that there were informed people in mind during this formation of this structure of government, remember when we were going to elections in 2013, let me just use Raila as ally. Otieno Kajwang went for senator, Orengo went for senator, Nyong'o went for senator. Later, they realized that it is in county where the power was devolved, not at the Senate. 2017, Nyong'o shipped directly to Governor Kisumu. Orengo was not even waiting for 2022. He was already campaigning to become governor for Siaya. Now, unfortunately, Otieno Kajwang passed away. Ochila has occupied Migori. So you see, you get, they have that information prior, before the citizens, that this position we are making are for so and so, so and so. And even remember, even during campaigns, they don't want to. They don't want us to talk about Raila, but sometimes they follow his campaigns. Usually said, "Sehaka baba, hapo ni kwa James Orengo. Ukifika Migori, salimia uchila yako." So you see, you also understand that informed opinion, people that in Migori County, it must be Uchilo. So that I will agree that during this structure of these so-called devolved functions, where power was devolved, there were already informed opinion by our leaders.
But do you know
Even look at how we are struggling to control Nairobi, the gubernatorial race. Even all the opponents in the presidential election, who to control Nairobi, who to manage Nairobi. You know, it has been a war that who will control Nairobi. You can't control executive at the same time you're controlling Nairobi. Such things, such debates. And there's even a debate that let us make Nairobi, let us remove it from the county, make it cosmopolitan. We merge Nairobi, Kajiado, Kiambu, we make it under municipal from county. So there are such debates.
Ani anasema kuna shida ya net on my side also buffing. Ayaga, umerudi ama net inakusumbua?
Nimerudi, pande yako pia iko na net, unapotea.
Mimi na agree na wewe, lakini pali ambapo atu agree ni kwamba watu walikuwa wamefikiria they were so much ahead of Kenyans in terms of their thinking on the devolution. That's why the constitution was very selective when they were copy pasting it to favor the political class.
Bernard, Benson, the constitution, yes, we have some lookalikes with the what is there at US. We never copy pasted it all. You see, we didn't copy it. We can't copy that country. You know, the country, the constitution of US, it has about 200 years, if I'm not wrong. Is the most old constitution. It has been amended like how many times? So many. There are like 71 amendment. Our constitution is still young. We made a try. We have not even amended it once. And it will be amended maybe up to 14th Amendment, 12th Amendment, 25th Amendment, and then it will work for us in the process. Yes, when as the Constitution now, those positions are there. If you are running for president, you must have those positions in mind, and you must have somebody who is going to occupy that seat to support you. In fact, the MOUs we have, like what Rigiji was saying, it is only him. He has no MOU. Musalia Mudavadi went there and bargained for his post. He's there, sitting there as a prime cabinet and one cabinet portfolio, which is the foreign affair. Yeah. Kitambo, before Ruto changed it through presidential order, he used to donate it to Malala, who was his handman, kama a CS without portfolio. Yes, but when things change on Malala, he was given now the docket through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Kingi bargained for that. If you want support of power, I only aim at Senate. So these things, they are there. Even me, if I'm running for president today, I will tell you, Megoda, my brother, you come. There is a position here at the National Assembly called the Speaker. Weka hapo, tujipange, nitakushughulikia na wabunge. First PG meeting, wewe ndio utaingizwa ndani. That is because those things are there. But if we can amend and say now it is Rigiji who is the president of the Senate, like the one in US, we don't have problem. But our constitution is like 15 years. We still have problem with it. We have troubles with it. We will do amendments. The United States one, they have a lot of amendments. Up to Juicy, 1963, 1969 here. It's when activists were on the road, Akina Martin Luther were being shot. Yes, it is not that sisi sasa tukipata tatizo kidogo, sasa tatizo, you cannot born a kid today, Benson. You cannot born a kid today and you expect that kid to have a teeth. So yes, our constitution have problem, and we should not blame the people who gave us.
Why
But
is
our
that?
constitution gave us a lot of freedom. We can talk about our country, our president, our everything today.
Yes,
We can insult our president.
yeah. But why is it that when we are talking of amendments, our amendments always revolve around the executive and the leadership? Why can't we amend some other areas?
Because the amendments that are being brought in, they are being brought in by politicians. Tell me, Araya, the one has just tried. Even the man from Turkana, the Punguza Mzigo, is a politician. So if you are a politician, when you are bringing the amendment, it is only amendment that is fits the political class. Because what the politicians always say this, if you have to change the constitution, change it for your enemy. Because your enemy tomorrow will be the president. So he can't make a law that will catch him tomorrow. You know why Ruto have a problem in the first term? He went against this constitution. He's not in fight with anybody. He's only in the fight with the constitution. Purely and clear, he's fighting the constitution, not even Kenyans. That's why when he fight the constitution too much, Kenyans go back to the Article 1 of that constitution and say, we, the people of Kenya, shall. Hapo mandatory. Hapo ndio sasa aliona hii juzi na Gen Z. That is what we should do. And that is what is happening. If you expect Raila Odinga to initiate a Raila kind of amendment, I'm sorry for you. If you expect Uhuru Kenyatta to do the same, I'm also sorry. If you expect William Ruto to bring up amendment, you see the amendment he brought into the parliament, introduction of opposition, because maybe predicted that in 2027, he may lose election and he may want to be somewhere. So that is what he's proposing. How is that helping Araya?
And that's my question. And that's my question is, why is it that the amendments that we are talking about, and each time we hear that we need to amend, but when we are amending, our amendments usually revolve around where the center of power is. Why is that one so? Does it mean that they don't represent the people?
Initiators.
Yeah.
Bernard, initiators. Let us say I'm a businessman today, and you took me, you gave me a power to amend the constitution. What will I do to ensure that me as a businessman, yeah, our businesses are more protected by the law than anything else? Number one, to make me rich. Number two, to make me popular and make me for me to make a lot of money. So if our amendments are being initiated by the politicians, they will always revolve around the political class. Not even our security sector, not even our military, not even our economy. It will just be around the political class to manipulate everything and take control of economy, socialism, society, and even culturally. They are the people who are speaking.
So which means our constitution that we have was not made to serve the interests of Kenyan people, but to serve the interest of a few, based on the amendments.
It was meant to serve Kenyans, Benson. It was. But the implementers are the politicians. So when politicians are implementing, they only choose parts to implement. Yeah? The parts that benefit them most. Hapo ndio wanasema sijui we need opposition leader, sijui we need broad-based government. You see such kind of things. Those are the things you will hear them from. Sijui broad-based, tuunganishe sijui nini. Kenyans live in peace, and if you want to know Kenyans live in peace and we are a peaceful nation, enda Kikomba tomorrow. They don't ask you which tribe are you buying. You will not, hautasikiza wanauliza you are from which tribe, unauza kiatu so that he can buy from his tribe. Yeah, that's hiyo ndio utajua sisi tunaishi na amani. Enda kwa soko yoyote kesho, utajua those people, we live in peace. It is the politician that made us look so divided, to manipulate us, to rule us every time. Kuna ka comment nimeweka hapa, politicians through NIS, intelligence, whatever, MIS, deep states, the people who are extremist about the government, and even the parliament, even the executive, they never want a divided nation. They never wanted a united nation. Every time, at a given time, people are united in a particular country. The rulers always have trouble. Don't even get shocked that the Rigiji, the noise Rigiji is making outside there, is being funded by the same government. So that to divide the central people from the rest of the world, then we fight down here as they enjoy butter up there. Yeah.
Hiyo ni kali. Mtu anasema ulisikia jina default kwa speech huko New York, unga 25 from your beloved. Wacha kutuambia constitution atayaga wewe. Makobura, uko na swali before, kwa sababu mimi naona kama muda wangu umeyoyoma kidogo.
Okay, I can say Ayaga, do I call him a sycophant of Raila Odinga, or I don't know how to call him. I just wanted to hear from a comment on the movements that you're seeing Raila is having. Ayaga, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, so the other day I heard you say that Raila is very, I don't know, a very special person, of which I know, I also agree with the same. Lakini tuna realize that we are realizing that hawa watu wa Siaya ni kama vile kuna vile wanatuchezanga when it comes to the politics of Kenya. Wanajaribu kutupanga, lakini raundi ni kama the people from the other side wameona, they've seen the light. So just maybe your comment on what the president is doing. The other day we saw, right, in the presence of the president and Raila Odinga, they met the president of Senegal. I think he's currently one of the youngest presidents in Africa. Today we saw them meeting the president of South Africa, that is Cyril Ramaphosa, and also the president of Malawi. In his quest for the AU seat, do you think the president is having a good, they're having a good relationship, and the president is genuinely assisting him or helping him secure that seat?
Okay. Let me be brief. Number one, I'm not a sycophant of Raila Odinga. When something is wrong, I call it. When something is good, I say it. When something is bad, like when I say after the drop of finance bill, people ought to have relaxed and start another revolution. Singing Ruto must go will not take us nowhere. And if Ruto go, who is coming in? That was my problem with the many people. I don't think, because I never believe on William Ruto in the first place. I never believe on William Ruto in first place. Never. Since he joined politics, even when he was in ODM, I never believed on him. Whatever he does, nimemwachia tu kwa mkono ya Mungu with Baba. Kwa sababu Baba is ako kwa ile age. You can do whatever you want to do with him. But mimi, nimemwacha kwa mkono ya baba. Story ya baba hata Benson aliniuliza juzi, is baba winning this? Nilimwambia tu I don't want to talk about it, and people say I'm psychopath. I'm not. Let me tell you one thing, and let me answer this thing today. Yes, we saw baba in number one China, where around more than 40 head of states from Africa were in whatever they call it for China, Africans, Jew, whatever. And he met so many head of states. And today, or from yesterday, we have seen him meeting other head of state, which is a good thing. In fact, that is the cheapest way to campaign, according to me. It is the cheapest way. People say, "Oh, Raila is following Ruto like a youth winger everywhere Ruto goes." But that is the way. If you can meet your voters, like more than 200 of them somewhere, like more than 20 or 30 of them somewhere, why should you not go there? Like in China and in US. I think that is the cheapest way, rather than from Kenya go to Angola, from Angola go to Senegal, from Senegal go to Egypt, go to where. I think that is a little bit expensive. Even if Ruto is doing it for good faith, it is only God who knows who. Even we have our political machinery that I told you will be on the ground, but after that election, whatever happens, Baba win, Baba doesn't win, we have our machinery that will go down to the ground after that election. Finally, let me say this. I saw the Ethiopian candidate really eating the mouth of French, eating the mouth of Queen there, English, speaking in Arabic, and even he spoke in other 9 languages. I'm asking, why can't Ruto organize or even donate his time for Baba to address the United Nations there, at least for even 10 minutes? So Baba can show us his prowess in German language. We want to see him speaking German there. Yeah. So I think Ruto should do more, but me I don't trust him. By the way, the same way I never trusted Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga from the word go, and my instinct proved me right up to today.
Mr.
Even
Eric.
that time. Yeah.
Yeah, currently people are saying that ODM has fully taken like the ODM party is what is really driving actually half of the Kenya Kwanza government. Whenever the president is going out of the country, we've seen him with Raila, we've seen him with Joho, we've seen him with Mbadi, or we've seen him with the energy CS, Opiyo Wandayi. Even today, I think Opiyo Wandayi was in, was it Algeria? I'm not so sure, but I saw something like that. And there's some, if you go to social media, people are saying that he was actually sent to try convince the president of Algeria to hold support for the president. At the same time, there are people who are also members of UDA or Kenya Kwanza who are crying left, right, and center, led by the deputy president, while others led by Musalia Mudavadi. Actually, people are saying Raila is the deputy president. That Ruto has 2 deputy presidents. There is Raila and Mudavadi. But at the same time, people are saying Raila is too powerful. Those people, the ones that I called psychopaths. I know you clarified that you're not one of them. Thank you for that. So those who are in that bracket of psychopaths, they're saying that Raila is a co-president, and he's actually one of the people who are making critical decisions in this government. Just from where you are, Mr. Eric, ODM is an opposition party currently. That's a fact. And of course, we are heading to 2027. Just your view. Because in the last
Okay.
government, we saw a situation where ODM joined the government, and then when they came to 2022, actually the people of Kenya said that ODM is part of the wrong government. That ODM is part of the government that made them suffer. So the same round, how is maybe ODM going to get it right? Are we going to see them working when they started working with the president just because of their interest of being well served? But at the same time, we are seeing some rebels in the ODM. If you watched how the senators handled the cabinet secretary almost cried. So just give us your opinion when it comes to the relationship of ODM and the government.
Okay, thank you, my brother. I'm in ODM and I'm not in government. So if you say ODM is in government, I don't know that ODM which is the government. But when it comes to the issue of Israela, the deputy president or the co-president, me, I don't believe on those things. Yeah, I think this Gen Zs, Akina Migoda, they made Ruto long time ago, it's called who? Like the damn president. Yeah, he is not president. In fact, me, I can say in Kenya we have real president and fake one. The fake one only to serve our constitution, he can sign. But the real one, because let me tell you, there is no president in this world anywhere that give an opponent in that matter, a competitor, the Ministry of Finance. No one, no president will does that. Even when Kibaki was coming to a coalition government, he first appoint people like Kemonya into those dockets first. Defense, he gave Ministry of Constitution where Martha Karua was. Kemonya was Minister of Finance. He chose who was Minister of Interior. I think Michuki or somebody. Yeah. So when you see a president giving out the Minister of Finance, that is not a president. That guy ceased to be a president of that nation. You cannot let your competitor, a person who has an interest in your seat, who can run over you in the next election or run against you in the next election, have that docket. The docket of energy is a very big docket. It has a lot of interest worldwide because that is where people discuss the nuclear, nanotechnology. Those are the ministries that everywhere president goes, he must go with the minister from that or the PS from that docket. Number 2 is mining and blue economy. People are talking about blue economy. We are tired with land. We have invested in land until the land is now becoming useless. We are turning to blue economy. We want to invest into the lakes and the oceans and mining. Which minister should you work with? Joho, he gave it all. William Ruto gave it all. He only have transport and agriculture. The rest he left for Rigiji. Yeah, that is the truth. So Ruto is a lackdam president. I don't know how that word is being pronounced. A lackdam president. It's just there to be seen, not to be heard. Because look at who Raila points there. Sycophant number 1 called John Ngongo Badi. Even if Ruto wants something to be done, Badi will first consult Raila Odinga. And if Raila Odinga refuses, he will sabotage that president's idea. Which country are you ruling? So the fact, even if some people say it is the real president was given to Raila by the Gen Zs themselves. Even if the Gen Zs say they betray them, who did the Gen Zs want to become president after Ruto must go? Ruto has just give power, financial power and economic power to Raila Odinga. He's just there. He will just go around making noise. And then when time comes in 2027, he will say, finance niliambia nilipatia baba. Mulisaidika, hakuna. anaanza kugongea watu wa ODM hapo. Si niliwapea energy, stima ilikuwa cheap, hakuna. Si niliwapea blue economy, attorney general, mpaka attorney general you are giving to your opponent, attorney general of all people, somebody who is advising the president. And that lady, I know is from Kano. Yeah, that lady, the insiders of Raila Odinga. Raila doesn't appoint people he doesn't know very well, or he has never worked with before. Raila appoints his people. That's why some people are ready to die for him. If you are for him, he will die with you. So that lady, if the president wants some legal issues to be handled, and that those legal issues are not sitting well with Raila himself as a person, that lady will consult Raila. So Ruto is not the president. Let us just be reality and factual. He's ruling from which area? Maybe he's only having the defense. You can't overthrow him, and the interior, giving them intelligence around of how to move. He may be moving somewhere, kumbe akina Miguda wameka hapo 10,000 wanangoja so akona intelligence ahead of everybody else. Apart from intelligence and defense, what else is president running? Because this folk, and even East Africa, you can negotiate with Museveni, you can negotiate with the Tanzania through the Ministry of East Africa Community. He gave it to ODM through that lady from Turkana. That is an ODM member. So ODM have like 6. I had people say 4. Who told you that those 2 ladies are not from ODM? They are ODM members. Yeah. So maybe one was just in legal profession, like you can say today, Oraro. If Jojo Oraro is appointed, now he's from the legal mind. Jojo Oraro is not Raila's supporter. That Attorney General is number 1 Raila supporter, for those who don't know. So those 6 cabinets or dockets were given to Raila. President is only running agriculture, maybe, which I don't think, military, and interior. So the real president now, and if Kenyans fail, hapo ndio nilisema, hapo ndio nitakosana na Raila. And that's why I don't trust William Ruto. How can you chase the person who will micromanage your government? You send that person to sit somewhere in Addis Ababa. Raila will be around, bwana. Hii kura atanguka. Hii ya Ethiopia hii. Now, they are doing it cleverly, and they are doing it intelligently, like the way Uhuru managed him to give Ruto power. I never trust those 2 people. Uhuru and William Ruto, never. Maybe Mutukama Rigiji, I can. He's a little bit truthful man, but these 2 people, no, never. Let them just do it. We are the kind of people who believe Baba should fail that. Because number 1, if Baba fail, will give us a ground by March next year to deal with the ODM members who are in parliament, who are in government. Look at now, the budget, everything is inapanda. Hata unga inapanda, mafuta inapanda. Unless kama nyinyi hamjaenda kwa duka juzi. Kila kitu inapanda polepole. Handa usu watch. John Ngongo Mbadi, ODM. And Ruto did it because he had no otherwise. So, even the people who are saying Baba is a co-president, it is right. Look at the clip, my friend, when they were lighting from that Kenya Airways in China. Look at that clip. And look at all the clips you have seen. President is welcomed at a airport. Did you see John Mbadi? Those ones get out through that plane kwa ile njia back door huko. Ruto was coming down with his wife, and who followed them? Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is not Ruto security. It is Raila Odinga who followed him. And after that, who followed Raila? Upondogeta yule jamaa wa Jawiyoma yetu alikidnap ya huko juzi. Ndiye alifollow him bio. Ndio the presidential security came in when the cameras left the stairs. Go check that clip. You can even play it here if I'm lying. So by just those things alone, if somebody say Raila is the co-president, is very right. Raila can't be a deputy president. deputy president cannot be allowed. Never. Let William Ruto goes with 3G somewhere and William Ruto is alighting. Rigathi cannot follow him back. He will pass through the other side of the of the plane. You will only see him in a conference where maybe somewhere, but not where the military is saluting the president. There are things that we have to say the truth now as we speak. Raila Amolo Odinga is even the real president. Ruto is the fake one. Is just micromanaging Ruto for constitutional purposes. Ndio tusiseme tumefika kwa what we call the constitutional quagmire. Yes. You have a question?
Yeah, yes, I do. You've spoken about the former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And if you keenly remember, when the current president, Ruto, was being sworn in, after that, the former president said that the only person that he recognizes as the president is one Raila Amolo Odinga. And of course, we know that when Ruto got into power, he had some problems with William Samoei Ruto. That made him to actually disappear from the political political environment. I think we also understand the fact that the former president has more networks actually in the whole world. And from where we see it, we also believe that he has a possibility of helping the former premier in clinching a seat by either mobilizing or doing all those sorts. Mr. Eric, from where you are,
Yes,
what is your take on the relationship that the former president have with Raila Amolo Odinga? Because of late we've not seen him actually coming out. We've not seen them together. It's been quite some time, and we know the relationship that they had together. Maybe your opinion on that? Are we
okay, thank you very much.
That, or is he
Okay.
helping in chini ya maji?
Also, let me answer those kwanza. You see the Uhuru statement that Raila Amolo Odinga is my president. Those are the things that were there to manage emotions. Don't even take them into your brain. They will damage your brain for no good reason. Even lungs is too hard for those things. Weka tu hapa nje kidogo na ufe na iende. Hata isingie kwa mapua itakupea homa. Bure. My friend, that was a political statement to manage the emotions of people at that time, at that particular time. Yeah. Because number one, there were clips going around. Uhuru saying, I will not hand over power to a thief. I will not do this. I will not do that. And he was there handing over to the same thief he was referring to. Even if he is you, which statement ungetaka make such statement? I hand over power peacefully, but my president is so and so. It manages what we call the emotions in politics. I think some of us who have lost parents, we know how these people used to manage our emotions. You know, you are being told even things that do not exist. Just relax. There are things that ukipata shida sahi unaambiwa tu kumanage your emotions, but don't keep any, because you will create a lot of enemy. So that number one was a political statement to manage the emotion at that particular time. Number two, umeniuliza about the relationship of Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And if I believe on William Ruto, did I hear it clearly? The second question was?
And the former president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Okay. They have a very good relationship. And I think the good relationship Raila Odinga has with Uhuru Kenyatta, when Raila Odinga have what we call the broad-based government with Ruto, he made that statement clear. As much as many people call us sycophant, there are things Raila Odinga will never lie about. He said it in Nandi. He said that Uhuru Kenyatta called him to call the president to at least manage the situation on June 25th when the Gen Z invaded the parliament. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Mr. Eric, on the same
Yeah.
kind of, sorry for cutting you. The same statement that you just said that the former president called Raila Amolo Odinga so that they would help tame the situation that was coming up, brought by the Gen Zs. The same party of one, the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, led by the Secretary General, that is Jeremiah Kioni, they came out and disputed the statements of one Raila Amolo Odinga, and they said that if it was true, then the right channel is Uhuru would also confirm the same, of which we did not see any confirmation from the former president. But my question to you again is, if it was true that Uhuru called Raila Amolo Odinga to help William Ruto in that situation, why then? Because we were being told that, remember, Uhuru is the chairman of Azimio. If suppose he wanted that, and remember, Azimio, led by the all Azimio team, they were actually supporting the Gen Zs. It is Raila who changed his mind along the way. So kindly convince us why Raila made that call and why you believe it is true that it truly came from the former president.
Okay, thank you very much. Raila made that statement that it is Uhuru Kenyatta who called him in person and asked him to reach out to the president, William Ruto, so that they can help country that was going towards a bad situation. Raila made those statements. Uhuru Kenyatta has an office, the office of the former vice president. He has the spokesman called Kanze Dena. Leave what other like even the broad-based government. Have you had Miguna, the secretary, Miguna, Edwin Sifuna? Have you listened to him keenly on the statements he has made? And with all those, you have come to realize that the statements he was making about we have not joined the government, whatever, even the way he was handling Badi, he's speaking his brain. And number two, you ask me why Uhuru is quiet and Uhuru has never opposed. Uhuru has a constituency, he has other people like Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa. Those people were emotionally attached to this demonstration and they were supporting it fully. So by just hearing Uhuru confirming that, I made that call, ingewapata shida kidogo. And look now the way they are being managed. Where are they? Where is Kalonzo? Maybe Uhuru made call to Raila when things are calm, they wanarukaruka hivi to get the attention of the boss. Then Uhuru called them pole pole, one by one. That tells you. Uhuru works in silence. That alone tells you that a call was made on the way. And if that call was not made, the same way when Uhuru was being denied money, he made a public statement through Kansedena. He could have just made that statement that the office of the fourth president is hereby denying that the fourth president, former president, never called Raila Odinga. You've never heard that. Everything went silent. In politics, answering is also good for the public. But if there is silence, like today, Raila said, even before he could call the president in that statement, even before he could call the President Ruto, it is Ruto himself who reached to me. He called me. Ruto has never said, I never called Baba first. Have you ever heard in any of his statement he's saying, it is Baba who called me the same way Uhuru told him to do? No, I never called him. So these two people, they called Baba. Uhuru called first, Raila called second. And why are people blaming Raila? Raila is going for African chairman seat, by the way. You cannot go and tell or sell yourself to Africans, telling how Africans how you are good when your country is burning, when your country is at war, when the president, constitutionally elected president in your country has been overthrown by the Gen Z, by the general public, without a plan, and the country is now between the military, the ruling council, because those are the things that are being formed always when there is a coup. Yeah. There will be power struggle where the military want to seize the power, and the civilian also want to form a ruling council like what they form in Sudan, and you at the same time you are there. I will work for democracies in Africa. Raila also saved himself. He redeemed himself by reaching out to Ruto, or even if Ruto reached out to him, Ruto has never denied. Uhuru has never denied. And if you do an investigation and you use the third eye to check into politics, maybe that's why Rigiji is scared. Because in politics, there is no permanent enmity or friendship. If Uhuru Kenyatta went again to work with one William Ruto plus Raila Odinga, and those things Rigiji did even to his mother, Rigiji has a reason to make noise. Rigiji has a reason, and I think Uhuru Kenyatta called Raila by the behaviors of one Rigathi Gachagua, the behaviors of Rigathi Gachagua, and the Kalonzo is now going silent. Eugene is going silent. Even those Azimio people who used to talk tough, where are they? Where are they now? In 2-3 weeks, that is how you exit political scene. Maybe Uhuru had called them too, but they were telling Uhuru, we cannot just withdraw once, so we have to withdraw with the time. Politics is a strategy. Or let Raila leave one to test waters. The people will calm down. Let us lie to, because these people, they are friends. Let us lie to these Gen Zs. We are with them together, and then they disappear. And now they have disappeared from the politics. Who is trending and who is on papers today? Rigiji from last week. We are impeaching you, and Rigiji might be impeached if Uhuru Kenyatta, with the affair I had with Rigiji and what Rigiji said about personal attack in his family, and it never ends there. After election, he organized how the farmland, Northland, is being attacked. And he also organized the withdrawal of the family security, even that of his mother. Hata kama ni mimi, siwezi nikakusamee. And that's why I support Malala. Let us do politics, not with the people's children, not with the people's homes, not with the people's wives, not with the people's mothers, not with the people's brothers. Let us do politics, pure, plain, good politics. Even that scene at Malala's home, where a son and a son-in-law or a brother-in-law is being abducted, it is not good. Let us call Kenya to order. Such politics are dangerous, and that may be the reason why Uhuru Kenyatta might work with Ruto to deal with Gachagua circumferentially.
Okay, very well. Thank you, Mr. Eric. I'm coming back to you. Kindly just hold on. The last time we had engagement with you, you clarified, ulitutembeza Nairobi. We were very much impressed with how you are familiar with the streets of Nairobi. I'm coming back to you. I have some question about the running of Nairobi County that I would want you to kindly give your opinion. Let me take this opportunity to welcome Brother Barak. Barak, karibu. It's been a while. Eric, this is also one of us. It's called Barak. Pia tunataka tumsikize kidogo as we welcome him. Kindly just hold on. I'm coming back to you. Mr. Barak, I know you'll say hi to the viewers. Eric was just answering a question, giving his opinion on a question that I had asked him, and that the people of Kenya are saying that ODM is also part of the government, to an extent that some people are saying Raila is like a co-president. Some people are saying he's like the deputy president. Now that Gachagua is having his own problems in that party. But again, there's this argument that whenever the president is going out of the country, he goes with the former premier, he goes with the likes of Joho, he goes with the likes of CS Finance and the CS Energy. So there's this thinking that ODM got into this government and they're running almost the affairs of this government. And so the question is, ODM is a party on its own. We know it's part of the Azimio. And we still know that they have political interest come 2027. And if you keenly follow in the last general election, it was a bit tough for ODM to maneuver politically because they had partnered, they had helped the previous government to do its dealing. Are you seeing a possibility where people are going to still have problems with the ODM? Should they get or detach themselves from the running, from the ruling government or the ruling party come 2027? And again, I'd also asked Mr. Barak to give his opinion on the relationship between Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga, because sometimes back, Uhuru was a good friend and you'd see them most of the time. But since Raila got close to the president, we've not seen him, we've not heard from him, he's been quiet. And we know the influence that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has in the politics of the Republic and also Africa and the whole world. He has so many friends. We know what he can do, especially when he wants to help the former premier to capture this AU seat. Maybe your opinion on those two as you say hi to the viewers.
Thank you so much, Mark. It has been a while. I don't know if you can hear me. I see you are.
Yes, you are clear. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it has been a while. We have not been on this platform, and I'm happy to be back today. And hello to our viewers. I've missed you, and I hope we are going to have a very good conversation tonight on the issues at hand. Well, you asked about ODM being part of the government and why the president these days is flying out of the country with the former premier. Yes, ODM is part of the government. That's a fact. And saying that ODM is part of Azimio, I think Azimio died a long time ago when they failed to capture power. You know, these pre-election agreements, once you fail to win the presidency, normally they usually die a natural death, because after elections and every politicians and every political party start shaping their relationship with the current with the ruling party. It has happened before because also interest change. You know, politics about interest. These interests are personal, and they can be also party, and they also be regional, and that those interests, they shape relationship in the political landscape. And you see those interests, that one that has killed Azimio. You remember after election, Ruto started poaching members of Azimio, and he succeeded in taking a good number until Azimio lost the majority in the House. They tried to complain, but nothing was done because, you know, politics about interest. And when Ruto was having problems within his Kenya Kwanza government, and the Gen Zs presented him with a golden opportunity to do something. And he ran to ODM for cooperation or for partnership. And now you can feel that Ruto is at peace, even though Gachagua is giving him a lot of problems. But he is not bothered with that, because he knows that he has he has a friend to rely on in case of numbers in the House, or even they said he needed some expert to help him. So that is what is happening. Raila being a candidate for AU chairmanship That also gives him an opportunity to travel out with Ruto, because when Ruto goes out, he meets other African presidents, and that provides them with an opportunity to sell the Raila's candidature to them. And you've seen them posting how they are meeting other heads of state from different countries in Africa. I saw them meeting a Senegalese president, Cyril Ramaphosa, yesterday. So you find that it gives them an opportunity to sell his candidature to these other presidents, which I think is a good thing, because being a candidate, you have to ensure that you maximize on all the opportunity that you have to sell your candidature, because the opponent is not also sleeping on the job; they're also working so hard, and you know that Djibouti's candidate is not a walk in the park. He's also a tough candidate. So Kenya must ensure that they take advantage of all the opportunity that is available to sell the Raila's candidature to Africa. And in terms of Uhuru and Raila being close or not being close right now, I believe that Raila and Uhuru are personal friends. Leave alone politics. They are personal friends. And when it comes to politics, I think Uhuru had all the time to deliver the presidency to Raila, which he failed. And now the relationship with Raila and Uhuru after that is not really pegged on Raila's loyalty to Uhuru, because Raila's loyalty to Uhuru right now is not, it cannot win him anything, because Raila needs the president of Kenya to win the AU's chairmanship. So Raila has to ensure that he has a good relationship with the current president, because that is the person who can help him win the AU chairmanship. Uhuru Kenyatta was to help him win the presidency of Kenya, which he failed. So I don't think that there is really much that Uhuru can do right now to help Raila in any way in terms of this, whatever he wants. On the other hand, Raila and Uhuru, these are business people. And for Raila to have gone to work with Ruto to restore stability in the country, it was because of their business interests. You know, when there's a lot of instability and there's chaos in the country, business people suffer so much. And that is why for the sake of their business interest, they have to ensure that there's peace and stability in the country, so that they can continue making profits out of their businesses. So that's another thing that forced them to ensure that they reach out to Ruto, or Ruto reached out to them, because all these guys are business people. They capitalize on the profits that they are making. And you know that if just a sample of businesses that Uhuru run, milk being one of them, dairy, finance, industry. So they need stability in the country for them to make profit. And another thing, I heard people saying that my colleagues was talking about this guy Jeremiah Kioni not respond, claiming that Uhuru did not make. You know, Jeremiah Kioni is not at the same level of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. The relationship of these two guys is beyond this other guy that you are mentioning, Eugene Wamalo, I don't know, Kalonzo. These are junior people when you compare to Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Because these are people they are statesmen. And you know, when you are a statesperson, when you are a statesman, the interest of your country comes first in case of a crisis. You know, the likes of Jeremiah Kioni, these are just dwarfs who are playing politics with the giants. And when the giants communicate, the dwarfs do not know what is going on up there. They just follow. And sometimes, because he's in the dark, he will try to talk so that he remains relevant. He remained relevant to the audience of maybe of who he was addressing. But another issue is that ODM was no, people were not happy with ODM because they associated themselves with Jubilee when Uhuru was the president. Now people are saying people will not be happy with them because they associate themselves with Kenya Kwanza. And I'm just wondering, who are these people? Because when Raila stood to be the president, people voted for Ruto. So I don't know why we vote for Ruto and then we want Raila to not work with Ruto, and then when we work with him, we get mad. I don't know, this obsession with Raila Odinga, people should just stop it. let us just be allow freedom of expression, freedom of association, everybody to express to exercise this freedom, so that we don't exercise our freedom. Then when other people exercise their freedom, we say they are doing the wrong thing. I believe they let them do whatever they want, and when election comes in 2027, people will vote the way they feel it is good according to them. But let us not try to micromanage freedom of association and freedom of expression in this country, because it is enshrined in the Constitution. So if you want to associate yourself with whoever you want, that is your business, and I should not interfere with that with that right that is enshrined in the Constitution. I think that is what I can say, and after that, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brother Barak. I was not actually in when Ben started the show, but I know he asked this question because this was actually the topic. The issue of Gachagua and Ruto. We are seeing a serious difference between the two. And I remember we were with you when we were discussing about their first drift when they started having issues. And remember, I said that this is going to end. This is going to go up to the impeachment. And I remember you and Migoda, you were saying that you actually didn't believe that, but I insisted. And I said that wait and see. So currently, that is the topic of the day. The issue of impeachment is here, there, and everyone is speaking about it. We've seen situation where even the deputy president has gone back to his backyard to try build up and come with some force. We've seen him trying to clarify what is really the difference between him and the president, to an extent that he goes sometimes to an extent of addressing his followers most of the time in their native language. And he's also trying to actually act as the opposition leader. Maybe your take on this impeachment issue that the deputy is facing. What is your take? Are you seeing a possibility of him being impeached in the coming days? Because from what you're seeing, the close allies of William Samoei Ruto, the members of parliament, are threatening. The other day, was it yesterday, the deputy speaker also clarified and said that it is our work and she's going to ensure that. And maybe you'll also give us your opinion whether it's right for the the deputy speaker to give such kind of opinion in the public space, being that she's the deputy speaker. I think we are seeing a deputy speaker who has already taken a stand, but we understand these are politics. Maybe your opinion on that. I can see Gypsy Corner is saying that there is no impeachment, and then our good friend Annie is saying we will see fierce kama tumesubdue Ayaga, huyu tunanyonga I don't know. Yeah, so we were here with the friend Ayaga. I don't know whether you saw him. I think he's back. He'll also give us his opinion, but he'll go first. Just give us your opinion on the issue of impeachment. I know Ayaga had spoken about it, but I have a question from Eric. You'll just stand by Eric. I have a question for you immediately after Barak has given his submission. Barak, you can proceed.
Well, I think for me, I would love Gachagua to be impeached and see what will happen. Because, we cannot live in a country where people are threatening each other each and every day because of where they come from. I think the Gachagua has just failed to be the deputy president of this country. And I believe that he needs to be taught some kind of, so that going in future, so that going forward, we should not have a deputy president that will be so much obsessed with where they come from. Because he's setting a very bad precedent. The reason why I think Ruto was a better deputy president than Gachagua, because Ruto was never obsessed with where he came from. Even when Uhuru seemed to be undermining him and using the only officers to undermine him, he never ran back to Kalenjin to start threatening that they made the Uhuru the president and they are going to do whatever the Gachagua is doing right now. So I believe that it is for just to set a good precedent, Gachagua should be impeached and be replaced by someone who is a nationalist, because the presidency, the president and his deputy who forms the presidency must be symbols of national unity. We cannot have someone who occupies the presidency and he's a symbol of a regional unity. He always is so much obsessed with people where he come from, and he even has made that cease to be so, to be like a mockery. People are always mocking that Bora usiguze Mrima, Bora usiguze Mrima, and he thinks that is funny. It is not funny, because even he's bringing a mockery to the seats of the presidency, which will not be accepted in this country. And I believe that the people of Kenya Kwanza, these members of parliament from Kenya Kwanza, should come up with a way of dealing with, because I think even you remember when he was talking about the shareholding, Kenya being a shareholding company where people with shares are the one who will receive services. So such sentiments should not be coming from the person who occupies the presidency in this country. If it's a good thing or a bad thing for a country, that is neither here nor there, because sometimes we have to make very difficult decisions to ensure that we restore sanity in our country. And the deputy speaker Gladys, when she was addressing people, I don't know, she was in Nandi County, her audience were very much excited, so that she was trying to appeal, to play to the gallery, so that her audience can be excited hearing that Gachagua is going to be impeached. But these are politicians, and whatever they are saying, it's just playing politics. But I believe that Gachagua should ship out, because we need to have a presidency that are symbols of national unity. This issue of Mlima each and every time, I don't think it is good for this country. We have to ensure that the president and his deputy are always nationalist, and whatever they are talking about or whatever they are saying must reflect national unity, and they must be symbols of national unity. And I believe he's going to put in a fight. He's not going to go down just like that. But I believe that he must come out of that regional politics and be a national leader. Therefore, I believe that he should be removed as the deputy president.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barak. Eric, I hope you're there. The question now is coming to you, but Barak will also give his opinion. The other day you gave us a good history of Nairobi, and even you took us through the streets of Nairobi. And that reminded me that I think I've not really walked enough in the city of Nairobi. I'll need to maybe contact you in Itembeze, Nairobi. On the issue of Nairobi, Nairobians are complaining that for the first time they're seeing a governor who is not actually performing. There are so many bad roads in the city. Remember, Nairobi is the capital city, and it is one of the most developed, actually the serious towns or city, capital city in Africa. But we are seeing a situation where the people are not feeling the leadership of Gachagua, the governor of Nairobi. Some people are even saying that the NMS at least did something. Where in the running of the healthcare of Nairobi, people are complaining left, right, and center. Yesterday, I went to Mama Lucy Hospital. Personally, what I saw there, it is not something that anyone would actually wish to go through. I saw a situation where sick people are coming, and then instead of them being admitted or being attended to, they're lining up, even very critical, people in critical situation. Some people, like, I don't know, that they have to go through that line, even people in critical situation. Then I asked myself, is this what is happening in all public hospitals, or it is just Mama Lucy here? If even the roads which are going to that hospital, they're not good. the people of Nairobi actually saying that they had, when Sonko was running Nairobi together with the NMS, people would see the NMS people walking with those things, with those branded reflectors, and they would see them even in the with Kwama Kijiji doing something. If you go to the town, within the CBD, NMS did a good job. Currently, the only thing is on hizi makabra zinawekwa na the governor, just that. But anything else, you're actually seeing nothing. People are saying, as much as the former governor was not that much learned, but at least he did something. When Sakaja was going for this post, he was one of the most promising leaders that Nairobians were yearning for. What really changed, Mr. Eric, being that you told us that you partly work with the government of the former governor, you can kindly clarify that, and then Barack could also give the same, his take on that.
You can get me?
Very well.
You
very
can
well.
Okay, thank you. Let me say hi to Anne. Anne is one of my supporters here. And I really loved her, the way ananipeleka speedy. But let me say this. Kwanza, Gachagua. Mimi, kwa maisha yangu, I don't discuss things that are going nowhere. Let me tell you the truth. Nobody will impeach Gachagua. You cannot impeach a deputy president because simply speaking in his native language and he's speaking to his people. That is not even a ground to go to a function, maybe a state function somewhere, and say, because the deputy president loves, he has accepted hajasoma kama mimi, hajasoma, so the only language he can understand better. And the world has given that. I saw Ngugi wa Thiong'o being awarded another grand award in Spain. He never spoke in English, spoke in Kikuyu. And it was upon those people to look for a translator so that the audience could understand what he was saying. Speaking in your mother tongue or speaking in your native language is not a crime. It's not a crime. That is not even a political crime unless we want to make it now, today, henceforth, when you are elected deputy president or a president, you cease, and you should never. It should be in the constitution. Speak. Even if you went to the village, now you want to address your grandmothers and your grandfathers, you should not speak your native language. I will support Rigidi on this. Rigadi is speaking to the audience. What he's saying, he has the audience. It's like I went to a Maasai cultural function in Sosua, and I want the Maasais to speak in my mother tongue, the Luo, or the Maasais should speak in Kiswahili, because the message belongs to the Maasais. Let him speak in Maasai. Rigathi Gachagua has audience and is very categorical. He has not say, I'm speaking to Kenya, I'm speaking to Masai, I'm speaking to Nandis. He's speaking to watu wa mlima. Na watu wa mlima isiguzwe, hapo naye niko naye 100%. The politics of divide and rule has no time. The politics of lies, political brouhaha, political thuggery, that must end. Even if G is now the one to, it is interest. Yeah, it is interest. If G can come out to condemn the abduction and you want to impeach him on that, I will stand with him. If the G is coming out to tell Kenyans that we promise that ABCD, we are delivering nothing. We only blame Uhuru Kenyatta handshake, Uhuru Kenyatta handshake, Uhuru Kenyatta handshake. We are in the third year of the presidency. No project will only launch, relaunch, kutenga, kutengua, kutenga, kuritenga, kujipanga, kuweka na kufanya. If Rigiji is tired with all this nonsense, I will support him for now. And I don't have anybody's mind. That's why I will stand with Rigiji. If they take that thing to the parliament, we will organize and we will go to that parliament again. Because in that parliament, Sai, look at the bills they are introducing in parliament. Ati ukitaka kupanda sijui, is it pamba or cotton or tea? They are introducing very bad bills. I saw another one with Sabina Chege. Very bad bill. Ati sijui in county government, if you want to start what, you must pay the county government. Nonsense things. Alafu now, they want to bring another nonsense thing that is not even adding anything to our economy, impeaching the deputy president. If this parliament is tired, I think it should be dissolved if they lack things to discuss. Rigji, somehow, I don't support him politically, but it's making sense. It's just asking questions. Asking questions are not problem. And who they lied to, mostly from the church, ni watu wa mlima, si mimi, si watu wa kwetu. Kwetu walipita sijui mara mbili mara tatu tu. Huko mlima ndiye alikuwa anaenda kuomba kila siku. Kuna kanisa hapa inaitwa IPCA. Huko ndio William alipiganga kambi, akipoa machozi, akilia, akifanya nini. He was lying to the people of mountain because the people of Rift Valley was obvious will vote for him. Like even now. Even me, I can't tell you today, Makobura, come to our home. I have welcomed you. And then you are lying to my mother. You are lying to my kid. You are lying to my grandmother. You are lying to my father. And then when we have formed the government, my people is not seeing these things. What language do you want me to explain to them that these people, this person lied to us? Germany. It is the language they understand. The Luo, number one, I will tell them. This guy lied to us. Because Huko, like William Ruto used to go to the mountain like 5 times a week. Go to Mombasa once, go to Western once, take 5 days in mountain, go to North Kenya once, go to Kwao maybe once, then take another 5 days in the mountain. Using pastors, using the cultural leaders, Kikuyu Council of Elders, using the political leaders of that area. That's why Rigiji is traumatized. Now people are asking the question in the ground. Where is the work? The work is not being done. Where is the problem there? A president must be accountable. And William Ruto used to tell us, the buck stops with the president. He said that when he was asked as a deputy president, he said, no, the buck stops with the president. He is the president. Rigiji can roam around. Let him work. This is what Uhuru Kenyatta used to do, to tell him, wacha kutanga tanga. My friend, wacha kutanga tanga, kuja tufanye kazi. He was roaming around and Uhuru was working. Yes, it's just eating his own medicine. Impeachment, I'm not supporting. It will not come. We are waiting for 2 weeks. We were told maybe they generalize Ogolda him, which I am even told nowadays he doesn't even take tea at State House. So they can only take him through maybe poison. And the son of Mau Mau is very clever. That was a DO. He will not go that route. Let me come to Nairobi politics. Nairobi politics. I'm a Nairobian. I fought in Nairobi. And I want to tell Nairobians one thing. The day we Nairobian people will and shall learn to elect Democrats as governors, rather than thugs, Ben 10s, and thugs, we will never see goodness in Nairobi. We won't. I remember I worked with Sonko, and let me give you a chilling story. It is the NMS hiyo una support ndio ilinifukuza kazi. How? Ndio walitutoa kazi. So in record of 2 years, You see that market in Kagundo Road? Ruto built that market. Nadi, Sonko built that market. Sonko built another hospital in Madari. And remember those who are grabbed land, that those lands had been grabbed. So he was fighting the land grabbers and not even wasting time building something immediately. If you go to Westlands, there is a market. If you come to Kariako, wale ambao wanatumia Njogo Road, ukipita Pangani ukiteremuka, there is a market. Sonko built hospitals and markets. Some of them have not been launched. Even that power station next to that market in Kagundo Road. Sonko built it with a record 2 years. We really worked. Ni siasa tulipigwa nayo mingi kwa sababu we were fighting land grabbers because Sonko knew this land belongs to government. He picked it, anangusha hiyo nyumba chini na iwachi, anajenga kitu inajengwa hapo ikienda juu. That is what happened. Stadium in Dandora, Tomboya Stadium. Sonko did that. It is now the best stadiums we have in Nairobi. To be tunaweza ringa na hiyo. Sakaja alipaka tu rangi tu, maybe rangi alipata kama hiyo stadium imeisha. In a record 2 years, imagine. And those are the things that were done. Yes, Sonko was a bit thuggery, but we must elect people-centered leader in Nairobi. Kidero was torn thuggery. He did nothing, kupanda nyasi peke yake, ambao tulikanyaga tukitoa Baba Airport. Hiyo nyasi yake ilienda na hiyo maandamano. Yeah? Sonko tried, but Sakaja has done nothing. What has helped Sakaja is one. Sakaja was the first person to form the broad-based government. Yes. He was the first person to appoint the ODM people in his government. He has seen far. Hapo naye mimi nitamtolea kofia. Yes. So hata kama Sonko alikuwa naiba. Yes, wizi naye iko kwa politics. Now there is no politician who is a thief. All of them, even me, if you give me opportunity, my friend, Kenya Revolution, I will rob you mercilessly. That is the fact. There is no politician who is not a thief, all of them. But even if you are stealing, at least do something to the people. This hospital, many hospitals, even one in Mukuru, who built it? Sonko, I think, built 6 hospitals and even 7 markets, modern ones. In Nairobi today, as we speak. Some of them, I don't know when they will be launched. Maybe they will be launched in 2027. Yeah, but he tried. As we speak, Transoya, the governor is building a market. He has built a market somewhere. He has built a stadium, hostel called again Tomboya, Imeisha. So it tells you what a governor can do in a record of 2 years. Yeah. Eh? so the people are commenting, please. Yes, the politicians, all of them. I say all of them. Include. Yes, I say all of them are thieves. So Nairobi, we must elect a technocrat. Even me, yes, I voted for Sakaja because I didn't believe in Igadi, but technocrat. If we get a technocrat, and even I think our neighbors like Kiambu, Kajiado, Machakos, if we can have an Alfred Mutua in Machakos for another 10 years, Machakos will be more comfortable than Nairobi. I'm telling you. And many people will move there. Many people will move there. Nairobi is becoming noisy. Nairobi is becoming dirtier. Nairobi is becoming the worst ever place a human being can live. You know, stay in Nairobi for about, even in that town, work in that town, and you stay in the estate. And then take 1, 2, 3 months working outside Nairobi. You will not go back to Nairobi. You will not want to go back there. You won't. It is noisy. There is no mpangilio from matatu sector, no mpangilio. Sonko had a very good plan. He made sure that there was no piki that was coming from Moi Avenue coming this side to the CBD. There was no matatu. And he did it not in a chest thumping manner. He used to go there, talk to those people, pole. There are things, the mistakes that are made in Nairobi that you can't undo them, like removing the market there. Yes, it's bringing a lot of trouble in a city center. That's why even city is moving in Upper Hill. Kwa wale ambao hawajui, the city center is moving in Upper Hill. Kama unajua Nairobi kidogo, hii kitu mnaita CBD imebaki Parliament na Rambia House na Rambia Annex na Treasury na Parliament. Those are the clean places. After that, Nairobi is dirty. Just past the statue of Tom Mboya, vukaring the other side of Tom Mboya Street, going to Luthuli. Very dirty. Very dirty. There is no place there. The town is not even looking like, even if you landed in Kisumu at Tombata, I think the good time, even at night. Kisumu is a little bit having a fresh air. But Nairobi, we electing thugs, and then Nairobi has a political thuggery. Also electing, the problem of Nairobi is industrialization. Moi centralized everything in Nairobi. I think Moi did a lot of problem for Nairobi. Number one, because Moi knew his community, the Kalenjin people, they don't love staying in town. So those people cannot protect him in case of a coup. Moi was very wise. So he built so many barracks and police headquarters in Nairobi, places you can say, why should we have that thing in Isili in the first place? That is not even a Sakaja problem. You should remove an airbase in Isili. You have a Moi airbase in Isili, then we have Langata Barracks, DOD, around Upper Hill, in Dagoretti constituency. Then we have another barracks, Uko Chini, Westlands. Then ukienda towards Kahawa, you have another barracks. Then coming to Embakasi, Kayole, pale juu Kware, ama inaitwa wapi, there is another barracks there. JSU headquarter and the police, another JSU headquarter iko pale all soaps. Na hizo vitu zilichukua a lot of land. So the expansion of that's why people are building up to the Nairobi River, because the population is growing and there is no places. Use even Google Maps. You cannot, and if we go to a war with any country, when Nairobi is hit, we are doomed and dusted. We don't have any other serious barracks. Maybe Moi, Naivasha, maybe we have another one, Isiolo and Garissa, and those are, I think they are just garrisons, easy to small. But the serious ones, the one that can save president, is Kawa Barracks, is Moi Isili Airbase, DOD and the back. So if you want to hit Kenya, you only need 5 cruise missiles, 5 only. Hit Moi Airbase, destroy it completely, easily, beat DOD, hit the Embakasi one,
Eric,
you will be done with Kenya. Yeah.
Eric, so okay, we've understood you. You've been talking about the county of Nairobi city. But I wanted you to kindly clarify what you understand when it comes to, I don't know whether you can see the comment on the screen.
Unless you bring them up. Yeah.
Yeah, huduma ya afya haiko sawa Nairobi. Elimu haiko sawa. Chakula haiko sawa. Nyumba haziko sawa. Na tena mwenzangu hapa anaongeza uraia mwema ni fedha. But Kenyans, actually Nairobians do not even have money. Nairobi siku hizi imekuwa kugumu to an extent that the level of suffering has really risen. Hii uongozi ya county government, And what I've also shared with you when it comes to healthcare, you know, healthcare is one of the most basic, one of the most important thing. A healthy person, a healthy nation, or a healthy population is a very productive population. That is the only population that can ensure that a country gets to the level of other industrial countries. What is your view when it comes to the management of healthcare, the management of infrastructure within Nairobi, and with this government in place? And maybe how can it be rectified? Being that you understand Nairobi, you've noted here that you've even worked with the former governor. So I know you understand. Just give us what is your take when it comes to the management of healthcare, infrastructure, and everything, vis-a-vis what has been done and what should be done? Just that.
Okay, thank you. Number one, let me answer that, my brother there. Banker. Nairobi has money. If you want a town that has money, it's Nairobi City. And if you want to know Nairobi City has money, go to the ghettos. Just go to those ghettos, Kibera, Kariako, Kariadudu, Madare, Gomongo. Call them. Coach, call them. Go to those places and ask how much is house there. Utapata nyumba ya mabati, they pay like 3,000. Nyumba ya mabati, 3,000 or 4. And they are paying it. And they are not defaulting. The problem with Nairobi is the high economy. Because Nairobi, we don't grow any food. So everything is imported. So you have money, but that money, the rate at which that money is leaving your hand, and then now you think you don't have money. Nairobi hustlers, somebody can get a job like these activations, the ones, the ladies who dance with the lorries around, promoting a certain product. They are being paid 1,000. If he does that per month, that is 30,000. But the expenses in Nairobi, compared to the money you have, that is what making Nairobi actually look like a city with no money. But the fact is, Nairobi is the city where people are being paid at least a good wage. Come to like places where we are, like down here. MP of Endebesia brought people and tell you, give these people me 200 per day. They have unga. What they need is only mboga peke yake. So Nairobi has money. The problem is everything inakuja iko imported. Hata nyanya, hata onion, everything. You buy water, you buy electricity, you pay for almost transport, you pay for everything. Nairobi, you pay for everything. And that one will not change in a city. So that one will be there. Number two, healthcare. Healthcare, the problem of healthcare in Nairobi is simple: population. My friend, the population of Nairobi is too much. And let me give you the example of Nigeria. When Lagos was too much congested, they built another town called Abuja. They depopularize the Lagos and take people to Abuja. What we need today is to decongest Nairobi. How can you decongest Nairobi? Look at the all ministries headquarters are in Nairobi. That's why I tell you, our problem is implementation. Even if we will blame the governor, yes, but our problem as well is implementation. We should even devolve the ministry. Let us say the Minister of Education, Kisii County. All workers who works at the ministry headquarters watafute nyumba huko Kisii. Take the Ministry of Agriculture to Eldoret or to Kakamega. Once the minister can even join the cabinet meetings through Skype, through such platform where we are today. So unless we decongest Nairobi, industries, why are all industries in Nairobi? Those military things, let us devolve them and have a population we can manage. You say you went to Mama Lucy, you got everything is not working. Why? Because you get one doctor, one to handle like 500 patient a day. Is a human being, akona fatigue, atachoka. Alafu Kenyan, they love money, so you will only select maybe 100 who has like 1,000 to be kusaidiwa na atawacha wengine, so that congestion will be there. I thank God you have not gone to Kenyatta, because I think the day you will go even for a visit to Kenyatta, you will not like that city totally. If you are getting sad with Mama Lucy, then go to Kenyatta. Then as a visit, just go there to visit a friend. Go there around saa saba hivi. You will see people in line. If you don't have money kupelekwa private wing, huku kwa public wing, my friend, you will not like it. It is population. You can't do it. When I was working with Nairobi City County, I realized that Nairobi, it is only God. There is a time we used to work in City Mortuary when we were installing the Jambo Pay systems. I worked there like 2 months. And that thing actually made me a prayer person, by the way, up to today. Sometimes I always pray. The people who are brought in, wameokotwa kama wamekufa Nairobi, are so many. The people who are engaged, killed in accident, are many. The people who are sijui wamepatikana wapi wameuliwa, nobody knows, are many. Even more than 1,000 bodies a day. Mpaka unajiuliza, is this the country we are living in? I worked all around Kenyatta. Those places are congested. The problem is population. We have to devolve these government ministries. Even let us do even what Magufuli did in Tanzania. He removed the state house from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma. He said, let us move. Let us decongest until Nairobi is decongested. And look even how we are building our CG called Konza City. It's not far from Nairobi. Today, Thika is within Nairobi. It will only take you 20-30 minutes to go Thika. Thika is within Nairobi. Machakos within Nairobi. How many people stay in work in Nairobi? Stay in Thika, in Machakos. Many people come from Kajiado, Rongai, Kitengela, which is in Rift Valley, and they are working in Nairobi. So we have to build another city somewhere. We can say, let us devolve some of the government offices back to Kisumu, Eldoret, Nakuru, and that is how we can manage and depopularize Nairobi. Failure to which, when everything else happens in Nairobi, every kid will finish the school and they will think Nairobi is the best place where I can get opportunity. And they will go there in large number. Do you know every year, the people who wamemaliza Form 4s, the college, like 1 million people, they move to Nairobi to look for work. They can't go to Kisumu. They don't go to Eldoret. Some even like us, we pass Kisumu. We pass Kisumu. We have Kisumu there. We passed Kisumu going to Nairobi. People passed Eldoret going to Nairobi. Why? Because everything and all the opportunities any young man can dream of today in this republic is in Nairobi. Nairobis will still have a lot of trouble. Nakobura.
Sorry, Mr. Eric. Barak, I don't know if you can hear me. Mr. Barak, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, kindly give your opinion on the topic, especially the running of the county, and maybe your whole take. The lack of good infrastructure, the lack of healthcare, and everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. I think my opinion is just simple. I think Nairobi should not be left for politicians to run. We need to have technocrats to run this city, because if we compare the time that NMS was running the city vis-a-vis the time that politicians have been running this city, you could see that NMS did a lot of work in terms of infrastructure, in terms of even healthcare facilities, compared to what these politicians have been doing. And remember, the last time I was here, I said that when Sakaja was vying for the gubernatorial seat of Nairobi, he was among the most popular people in this country. And you remember how he became in, even with having questionable credentials. People believed in him, and people gave him that opportunity to be the governor of Nairobi. But hardly 2 years in office, he's one of the most disliked leaders in this country. Especially people of Nairobi are just fed up with Sakaja, because he has not lived up to the expectation of Nairobians. And if you go to the CBD, I think you will feel sorry for this city and people who live in this city. I even noticed the other day that even city clocks are no longer working. All of them, I think they are now dead, all of them. And the CBD has been left to I think to anything that can be there. You can even see even litter. These vehicles that are collecting litter from the city. I think the city is just so dirty. Even the states are just they are so dirty. I don't know who is going to save Nairobians from this mess. I think even 2027 is very far. If something could be done, even in the near future, to ensure that we have someone who can manage this city, because if nothing is done, I think by 2027 Nairobi will be stinking so badly. Because even right now, if you walk through the downtown of the CBD, things are just terrible. Things are terrible. And now even the healthcare facilities, you said you visited Mama Lucy, and you are not pleased with what you saw. And the story just the same across all the health facilities that we have in this city. Nothing is working. Sakaja is not working. He has no idea of what to do. He thinks that by being close to Raila Odinga, he's now okay. But I promised you that Raila Odinga will not save Sakaja from the wrath of Nairobians, because Raila does not go to these health facilities. Raila does not work in the CBD. Raila does not understand the life that normal Nairobian is living. Therefore, Sakaja, by being close to Raila and think that he's now safe, I feel sorry for him, because he's not going to survive. He's going home, and I think 2027 is very far from sending this guy home. He's clueless. He does not have an idea of what to do to save this county. In terms of what should be done, the reason why devolution was introduced in this country was to try to develop, to devolve development to the grassroots level, so that many people will not be thinking of going to Nairobi to look for opportunities. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and that's why you see that even though we have like right now it's like for 12 years since devolution started, but nothing has happened in our county governments to attract a majority of the young people who are looking for opportunities in the city. And that's why you see that Nairobi keeps on being congested by the high number of young people who are coming out of schools, running to Nairobi to look for opportunities. And I think that if we can have a devolution that is working, to ensure that our counties are being industrialized, our counties are developing, and opportunities are being created in the grassroots, I think that will attract young people from the city, and go to the grassroots level to try to earn a living there. But as things stand now, politicians have ensured that they don't do that, and that's why you see the congestion of Nairobi is still very high. And decongesting Nairobi, you know, people who are middle class, people who are working in ministries, people who are working in government, majority of them do not live in Nairobi. You find that they live in the metropolis of Nairobi. You find that majority are living in Juja, in Thika, in Machakos, Kitengela, in Ngong, because they have a living. Majority of people who are living within Nairobi and who are congesting this city are slum dwellers. And these are people who are working in industries, who are in the industrial area, people who are working in informal settlement, Juakali. You find, because these people, they are earning very little, that they cannot manage to transit from the Nairobi to the metropolitan counties that we have that are surrounding Nairobi. So for us to ensure that we solve the problem of decongesting the city, I think the good idea is to remove these industries from within Nairobi County, and transfer them to even in Isiolo, where we have open land in Garissa County, or even in Isiolo, where we have a arid land that is just laying idle there, so that a majority of these slum dwellers can transfer from Nairobi to where this industry will be located. And that is how now you will find that there's a bit space to ensure that Nairobi now remains to be a city of finished products, and nothing is going to be manufactured within Nairobi, because people who are working in this manufacturing industry are the people who are congesting the city. And you find that even majority of them do not even they even trek from the industry, from work to home. And these are the people who are congesting this city. So if the government can decide that Nairobi is going to be a city of finished product only, I believe that is going to try to decongest the city, because of the high number of people who are looking for opportunities could have been transferred to other counties. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Barak. It was a nice conversation. Eric, I know Eric is also still there. Eric, thank you so much. I think now I just want to close the show, but I'll give you, Mr. Eric, a chance to give your last remarks, and then Barak could bring his last remarks, and then I'll close the show. Eric, it's your turn.
Unmute me, please.
You are unmuted. You're okay. Kindly proceed.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yes, I can. Kindly proceed. Eric?
My side, my mic tells me.
No, you're okay. You're not mute. You're, I've unmuted you. You're okay. You can proceed. Kindly, I don't know. If I have unmuted you, now no ukijimute tena. Kindly unmute. Eric, you are muted. I'm trying to unmute on my side. It's not. Eric, you've muted yourself.
Yes, now you can.
Yes,
now
yes.
you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay, thank you. Even me, I was now getting a little bit tired. So I'm saying this. Generally, in Nairobi, number one thing is to decongest the industries. My brother has said it, and ministries. He said the middle class do not stay in Nairobi, but those middle class are the people who are building those many houses that accommodate these people. After receiving a little money in Nairobi, they want to invest where, when he build a house today, by tomorrow, he has customers. Even before the house is finished, people are in. That is the danger. When we decongest the ministry and industries, they will go maybe to Kisumu. If they get their small money, they will build their houses there. So at least we will have that breathing in. But I think generally, Nairobi planning, Nairobi, you can't blame it on Sakaja. You can't blame it on any governor. But for service delivery, yes. But Nairobi also has a lot of intrigues and politics. It is only Nairobi when you start fighting the corruption, like these Kanjos, yeah? Like these Kanjos. If you start dealing with them, they fight you back directly. You see, sometimes in early time of Sakaja in office, they were pouring people's eggs, beating people, and they are the people who are recording those things. They are the people who are taking them online, and they blame Sakaja on it. Yeah, so there is a lot of the corruption fight back in Nairobi. So sometimes you need to manage, and this corruption is on levels. I can tell you one day we were the governor Sonko. We went there in the morning. We get about 6 million. The money that was collected has not been banked. It was just there. It was embarrassing. You ask those people, why do you have this money? At you, it came late. Yes, it came late. It's about 10. Mbona ijaenda bank? Let me tell you what happened. And this is a true story. When Sonko became the governor of Nairobi, if you want to know, Nairobi has some money. Ndio maana niliwaambia Nairobi has money. The problem, the management. When Sonko was sworn in, like 1 week in the office, he was yet even to name the CECs, what we call the county cabinet, whatever. Executive officers, but the ministers were county. So, one day when he was working in his office, he got money, 60 million in his office waiting for him. And they asked, what is this money for? We were told, by the way, hiyo ni pesa yako, hiyo ni yako governor, hiyo ni yangu hii. He took the money to his house. Then the following day, he got 300 million. The money that were collected the other day. And on that, imagine, they have ate theirs. They have ate theirs. And that is, so there is a lot of corruption in Nairobi. That's why you see people are building on the rivers, and there are people from the county government who approve such houses. That's why even if those houses kills people, the owner, the landlord, people will just make noise for landlord, but landlord you can't do him nothing, because if you go to papers, he was approved by the county, CG construction and building, whatever, the surveyors from county approve that house. The house was built, they inspect it from down mpaka mahali iliisha, mpaka watu wakaanza kuingia. Why? They were going there, they take money, they let people do whatever they want. So corruption, and the moment you start and you go there as a governor and start fighting it directly, the way Sonko did, circumphoniously, facing it with the camera, Sonko could not go far. The cabals in Nairobi ganged against him. There is an hotel hapo karibu fire station inaitwa sijui Mobile, sijui what. Tulikuwa tunataka kuangusha chini. Na hapo ndio tuligongwa sana zaidi. Na tuligongwa ile ya ukweli. Hapo ndio tulibeba mkono. I remember that guy is called Mwangi. He's very dangerous in that CBD. So, Nairobi pia hatuwezi laumu governor. Tunalaumu corruption. Even this hospital. Do you know when I was working, let me again tell you the last story. When I was working in City Mortuary, I think you have never been there. Because maybe you have never have a customer to go there. I was there when those Kajo people hide dead people. You took maybe your brother involved in accident. You are told by the police report is in city mortuary. You are going to see the condition so that you pay mweke pazuri ama mweke kwa mpeleke Chiromo ama whatever you want to do. They will hide that body. Why? Until you give them 1,000 or 2,000. Yes. Those called Onyango Toyo, they hide them. Ama na ukiinsist unaleta ujinga, wanakufungulia mahali people who should be go to grave, to mass grave, mahali watu wameoza, panya peke yake kinatoka hapo. Kama we ni mtu wa short hearted, you can even die, you can even collapse and die. Even if you have a depression, you can even collapse there and die. But if you have just given money, wanaleta. So there is corruption everywhere in Nairobi, even in those hospitals. My friend, if you have money or if you know somebody and you took even your kid, you will get very long line. You will call that person or give something. You will see, you will pass so many people in the line. Yeah, in the line. And then in that line, kuna mtu pengine ni mgonjwa hapo, alikuja saa 2 asubuhi, anatoka maybe saa 8 hajashughulikiwa because he was told NHIF sijui Shefa can help him. My friend, corruption is too much in that capital city. You can't blame governor 100%. Yes, there is part like water, drainage, you can blame. I'm saying there is a situation where if you don't give the kanjo, the environmentalist, wale wakuchukua takataka, wao wenyewe ndio wanatoa takataka Dandora, wanarudi na usiku wanamwaga hapo town. Wanamwaga town, by the way. They do it. So ndio raia wapigie gavana kelele, hakuna kazi, hakuna kazi. Na hii takataka hata pengine imetoka hata Kayoli. Wanaleta usiku, wanamwaga hapo Nyamakima, wanamwaga hapo Markiti. So it is corruption pia. And if you fight that corruption with your brain open, the corruption will fight you like nonsense, and it will deal with you. It will perambulate you. And I think somebody asked me, how can Raila Amolo Odinga tame Babu Owino? Then I just kept quiet and I say, that Raila can just support Babu Owino to be governor. After 2 months, he will go to oblivion. Like Kitero went, Anne Kananu went, Sonko followed, hata Sakaja asipochunga anaenda tu huko. Hii city ya Nairobi imekuwa ni kama prime minister wa UK. I have just watched the recent poll ya UK. Keir Starmer, who was elected the other day as a popular candidate, is now has the lowest rank rating than the Rishi Sunak, the former prime minister he beat like 2 months ago. So Nairobi, if you want to destroy that's why I will not support Babu Owino to be governor. It will destroy your political future completely if you are not careful. And coming back, imeshinda Kidero, imeshinda Sonko, na imeshinda Anne Kananu. That's my take.
Thank you, Brother Eric. Barak, maybe your closing remarks. Barak, if you're there. Eric, I hope you finished because we'll be closing after this.
Yeah. I'm done.
Okay, just wait a few. Barak, let Barak finish and then you'll come. We'll close now. Yes, Mr. Barak, kindly give your last remarks.
Well, I thank you so much, Mark, and my co-panelist, Eric. I don't have much to say for now. Just to thank all our viewers for being with us, and I'm looking forward to another conversation tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Karibu sana. Thank you, Mr. Barak. Eric, ambia watu bye-bye.
Oh, let me tell our viewers, they have a good night, good evening, good morning. Let me say, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are, in Africa, in Kenya, or whatever. We love you so much. And my Anna ananiombea vizuri. Anna ananiombea vizuri na ananitwanga kisiasa at the same time. Those are the things that have mislead people.
I think one of these days you should at least find her na mkule lunch. At least naona mnabishana sana.
Naona ni Nairobian. So Mungu akinijalia nirudi Nairobi very soon. Nitamtafuta tukunywe chai.
Very well. That is nice. One is saying, Eric, in UK, it was a tactical voting. They wanted the Conservatives out after 13 years of protecting the rich. And then wanasema, Eric, please come back tomorrow.
I will try.
Gypsy Corners redeemed. Okay, yeah. So allow me to take this opportunity to actually acknowledge and appreciate all the viewers, all the commentators. Thank you so much, especially those who are commenting, because you keep us engaged, and that actually motivates. Inanifanya nisilale kwa studio. We are so yes.
Let me answer that, my brother, who's saying it was to remove the conservative. What I'm saying, they have removed the conservatives after 14 to 13 years protecting the rich. Yes. But Keir Starmer, who was elected the other day, the polls that I have seen today is rating him low more than the Rishi Sunak, who was the conservative candidate. And that is what I'm saying. You know, this country has changed. Like now we are going to the 10th prime minister in a period of less than 2 to 3 years. So it has been a very bad for them. But I wish the country is stable because they are ruled by kings and queens.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, so I was saying thank you so much, our viewers. Tumeshukuru sana. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for standing by us. Tunashukuru. We don't take it for granted. If you are new, kindly like and subscribe to Brother Benson Media. If maybe you want to be part of the panelists, you can either write to us via the comment section or you can send us mail. The mail is there at the YouTube. Na tutakupea wakati. If you have something that you want us to talk about, you can just tell us, reach out with the topic. We'll give you a space to discuss it. If maybe you also have a business that you want us to advertise for you, we are here. Whatever conversation. If maybe you also want us to bring someone, a technocrat in a specific field, you can as well do that. Just engage us na tutafanya vile mnataka, because we are here actually for you, our fan base. Tunashukuru sana. Thank you so much. Asante sana, Ann Gypsy Corner. Thank you so much. Actually, I didn't know that you changed your name from Good Year, because I was used to seeing Good Year, and then all of a sudden, without you notifying us, you simply disappeared, and then you came back to Gypsy Corner. So it was a little bit confusing, and I'd noticed that someone was missing. That was a Good Year, and so I had to ask about that yesterday. It is good you clarified. Thank you so much. WS Banker, asante sana. Tunashukuru. Kwa wale wote wako kwa comment section, tunashukuru sana. Kenya Revolutionary, thank you so much. Tunashukuru. Thanks for your consistent support. Who else? There's so many. Tony Mohammed, thank you so much. Atikas Now, thank you so much. And everyone in the comment section, tumeshukuru sana. We are very much grateful. We don't take it for granted. Allow me to take this opportunity to wish you a blessed night, a blessed evening, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon. Until tomorrow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.